Bane, I messed up the swap. Bane.
I did mess up the swap.
Oh, so do we have Sea of Stars on backup?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that'll be a funny story to tell people. Hi, how you doing, chat?
Hello. It is what's up.
Yeah. What's up? Confusion.
It is confusion right now. Sorry about that. If you saw a little something extra there, that was the backup just in case.
The whims of fate. All right. Before we explain why we might need a backup, although I will say, watching this preview, Payday 3, very shiny.
Oh no, it's been fun so far. This is only the second heist I've done, but
Yeah. Before we get into that, why that is, because this game did come out several days ago now, I would like to very quickly shout out our patrons like Adam Hart, Blackus G, Call Me Zed, Carlos Dragon, Ferris, Play This Iceberg, Jeremy Vasquez, JDV9000, Just the Faye, Jen Sandoval, Starlight, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Region Raptor, Rise of Pidgey, Rogue Robin, Charvor, Sean Pryor, Some Guy Named Bob, and Baron the Crow. We like your support very much. Super cool support. So yeah, you are playing Payday 3. You are being bullied a little bit by cops. I assume still coming from the elemental plane of cops.
son of a bitch!
If you guys didn't know, cops are one of the the classic grenade yourself. Cops are one of the fundamental alchemical elements of the universe. You've got fantasy RPG bandits, cops, rats. What are other cretinous creatures which, spawn forever?
Goblins?
Yeah, there's a lot of goblins. Also, that might add, I would not be unconvinced that that's not at least some version of like D&D or Pathfinder lore, that there's just a plane of goblins that they crawl out of. Goddamn bats, that's correct. The elemental plane of Zubat. Just minding your own business, bats for days.
Do I have to? I do.
But yeah, so I did not get this game right away. I know a couple of the boys did to get into it, but I'm running a little lean and mean on the budget right now.
Bitch!
Some stuff. And currently, Payday 3 is not having the best launch in the world.
Nay.
I believe the crux of part 1 of people's problems can be summarized by a comment Lucky made in the before times where he said, "Oh no, this game's always online. I can't pause it." I mean, you're looking at it, and I think it does run well.
Come on, you can run over that. You can run. There we go.
I don't think I've heard any complaints about the technical side of the game. The primary thing that is driving to, and I believe they might still be mostly negative on Steam. I haven't checked. The thing that is mostly driving people to poor reviews is the game is indeed always online. You require an internet connection to play.
Yep.
And because the game is very in demand and very new, the servers have been super taxed. So a lot of people have been unable to get into heists. Some people have apparently had such bad connection they can't even access the servers to get to the main menu, which you require a server for because it's always online.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you've had the opportunity to try and play Payday 3. You've had an opportunity to try and play Payday 3 for a few days. What are your initial impressions so far? Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground. I feel like they're trying to start over with their Payday mechanics here. Payday 2, like, I never played Payday 1. I never played the original one. I got into Payday 2 back in, like, oh god, fuck, like 2014-ish. It was a while ago. And I play a lot of fucking Payday 2. I think that's like one of the second or third highest games on my fucking Steam and hours played, next to like Warframe and what else? Ah!
Do you boot Final Fantasy 14 through Steam?
No, I do not. So that is not. But no contest against Final Fantasy 14. That has we checked the playtime on that recently, and that was like I think over a year in just playtime.
Yeah, it's nasty. I mean, fuck. I just checked the other day because I saw my my Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel stats on PlayStation, which are about 280 hours that I probably want back of my life. Yes, the current event fucking sucks. I'm very upset. And so does the meta. But anyway, that's Yu-Gi-Oh! For you. It'll be different in like a month. But I was like, oh, what's my Final Fantasy 14 playtime up to on PlayStation? 481 hours. I'm already about to cross the 500 mark. So yeah, no, those hours add up. But yeah, you have a fuck ton of time on Payday 2. I actually played a decent amount of Payday 2 on the, I want to say the PS3 version, maybe the PS4. But I played it on consoles mostly by myself and bots, just because this was back when I didn't have a lot of PlayStation friends to hang out with. But like I think I did most of your default missions and stuff. And I think I tried playing with randos a couple of times, but it wasn't super a lot of fun. But like I played the game before like the perk deck rework. So like it's been a long ass time for me. But yeah, you're a certifiable Payday 2 mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
And so how does Payday 3 seem compared to that?
Well, like I said, visually it's a lot better. They put a lot of like little extra detail and stuff, and have oh, did it break? But
okay, so this is in sorry, I was just checking the engine. This is in Unreal 4.
Yep. It's like the models aren't like the bestest, but I'm okay with that, considering there's gonna be a like I said, this is the Elemental Plane of Cop. There's gonna be a lot of dudes like coming at you shooting. Like I don't need the most highest red polygons to shoot people, helmeted people in the face, you know?
Yes, and oh, bibbity bobbity, I have stuff to say about that fucking later, about another game series, but we'll save that.
Oh. I am intrigued.
There has been some very classic internet bullshit commentary. I mean, if you want me to jump into that, we can. But
well, yeah, like I'm gonna be playing like as long as Payday is like I can get back to it later. But
okay,
you have perked my interest.
So Tokyo Game Show is going on.
Yeah,
we have a lot of news to talk about because a lot of Japan's biggest franchises and even some Western, like Xbox did have a presser there. Mostly. So
here's a new mechanic, by the way, lock picking. So.
Oh, okay. So it's actually a mechanic now.
Yeah, and it looks like everyone can do it. It looks like they did they did stream some mechanics, like everyone can like lockpick. You can be, and everyone like I think you can just tie up civilians infinitely. I have not seen a resource for zip ties. Which
okay. Definitely streamline some stuff.
Yeah. There's also there's also a safe cracking mechanic where you actually have to spin the dial on it.
Okay, getting a little more involved.
Yeah.
That's kind of better. A lot of the way Payday 2 worked with locked objects was, hey, do you have the thing for this? No. Okay, cool. You can't do it. Do you have the thing for this? All right, hold, X or E or whatever for a little bit. All right, you've done it.
That was the wrong button, me.
But yeah, so Tokyo Game Show is going on right now. There's loads and loads of news out there because there are a lot of big franchises there. Square Enix has been fucking balling out. Which seems in line with their new CEO's direction. He literally is giving interview statements about we want to produce some more AAA games. We've got our eye on past franchises to AAAify, and that's got a lot of people salivating.
Mm-hmm.
Right, they're ready to rock. But also, shockingly, one of the people with a gigantic fucking booth at TGS is Konami, specifically for Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, okay, I do remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, so they've got a great booth. They've got a lot of great tech stuff there. Every 10 minutes they go into alert mode. They've been revealing a lot of neat stuff about both the Master Collection and some vague hints about some direction they're going to go with with Delta. But mostly it's about Master Collection because that comes out in a month. So one of the interesting things I did see, which is not related to the internet being dumb, but that I appreciate is people have spotted that in the logos and branding, written and directed by Hideo Kojima is still everywhere. The Kojima Productions logo is still on these games. So it's the old logo, obviously, but, Konami has not gone to the extra effort to expunge Kojima's name from these games. I don't think that we're at a state where they would be that petty, but it is kind of a thing to keep in mind, and no, they seem to be going for it. We'll see how they treat Delta, but it does kind of seem like they're willing to like the new Konami is willing to like give Kojima his flowers for making the original games and move on with it. You know.
Mhm.
Another funny thing, by the way, I just learned the other today was that so everybody knows about Psycho Mantis's dialogue. You know,
Yeah.
he has special dialogue about games you like to play. Obviously, in the Master Collection bundle, you're not going to have memory cards to check. So apparently, there's going to be a little menu where you can pick what Konami games you like, so he could comment on them. That's really cute. But the big thing, I'm leading up to this. What? Oh, is that a cloaker now?
Yeah. Ah, fuck.
Damn.
I think I'm going down.
He'd be cloaking. But the thing they released that naturally got the internet to be stupid was they officially announced the resolutions and frame rates on all platforms for all games.
Okay.
So naturally, I think everything on the Switch is only 1080 30 frames.
Okay.
Makes sense. I think it's 720 on the screen, you know, undocked. The thing that at least I saw Twitter replies being agitated about was people were complaining that the original Metal Gear Solid, which is still the PlayStation port, it's not Twin Snakes, is going to be playing on Xbox and PS5 capped at 30 frames. And I was just like, what the fuck do you want? This is a PlayStation 1 ass game with them blocky ass polygons. What purpose does higher than 30 frames serve? You're not gonna get smoother action. It's a PS1 game. It's blocky as fuck. Like I don't understand. I don't understand this obsession.
Oh, I don't either.
Like, and it's just it's like I yelled about it in the middle of the night on Twitter. I'm like, people are complaining about a PS1 game don't got 60 frames. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like I don't understand. Like all the later games, you know, they've got the HD remasters of like 2 and 3 and stuff. Those are all 60 frames. Oh, hold on, I gotta wait for the bonk. There it is. just absolutely faceplant eat shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's payday. But yeah, no. So like, and like Konami was trending, and people were like, "There's no excuse for a modern game developer to have their games at 30 frames." And I'm like, it's from the PS1. They're not really doing anything to it. Like, obviously, there's going to be some, like, tech stuff behind the screens to, like, fix quality of life and make sure it works with modern control schemes. I suspect you'll be able to use, like, an analog stick and shit. But the game is old, and they are not redoing the textures yet. That's a different game, guys. Like, if they, you know, whatchamacallit, if they locked, like, Metal Gear Delta to 30 frames, okay, sure, you can complain that that's probably, like, they're not optimizing their engine or whatever. But like it's a PS1 game. What do you want? I don't get it. I don't know. My problem is that well, it's not my problem. I enjoy being this way, but I don't know a lot of these like serious frame rate heads in real life. Like I don't have any of these people I can like honestly quiz about what the fuck they're talking about without having to like go up to an internet stranger and be like, "Excuse me, sir, the fuck?" Literally. So yeah, I don't know, but like, yeah, that one just like drove me wild a little bit.
People. The thing that I realize about people is when people don't have to actually explain what they mean and have any sort of like consequences, they will just say whatever the fuck they want. That's level 4.
I believe that's Gabe's greater internet fuckwad theory.
Yeah.
Just you give people anonymity on the internet,
and they will say,
and they can just say whatever. Yeah.
Let me modify. See if I can modify.
It seems to have passed into the ocean of other bullshit, you know, going on. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, baby.
All right, so you're upgrading some stuff.
Well, it's not really upgrading. It's they're pretty good with the modifications. Like they've definitely seemed to have compressed a lot of things down. Like they still have most of the slots, but they don't have like since they don't have like 10 years of DLC on everything. The list isn't quite as long. Like I was looking at the weapon list, purchase weapon here. Like, oh, we can have charms, cute. Like, we only got, like, let's see, what is that? Like, 17 weapons, it looks like. And then we got preset weapons. That looks interesting. Paint schemes, stickers. You can get a fucking koala. Oh, can we buy favors? Interesting. So I'm just looking at stuff. That's something they did add is apparently you can actually buy your clothes now and your gloves. Before that was just yeah.
Oh, thank God. Sorry, I just saw a tweet about Unicorn Overload.
Yeah.
Overlord. Details from Famitsu. They started in 2016, so this game's been in development a while.
Okay.
Playtime's between 50 and 100 hours.
Yep.
100 plus characters, 60 unique characters, so there'll be some dupes. All characters can be recruited in a single playthrough, no permadeath. Thank you. That's very straightforward.
Yeah, people. I guess. I don't want to talk shit about Fire Emblem, but sometimes I gotta talk shit about Fire Emblem. It's like,
I mean, it's fair. I think the greater Fire Emblem fandom deserves it because Fire Emblem fans are weird. You basically have a couple of different phases of the community. You've got like old school people are like, what you call it, like obscure ass otakus who played like ROM hacks from the 90s, you know, because the games didn't come out in America officially until the GBA. Then technically, I would say I'm actually part of the second wave there. I got Fire Emblem, which was technically Fire Emblem 7 on the GBA. I loved it. I've played a little bit of like Sacred Stones, and I've like gone off and on when I've had Nintendo consoles available on the franchise ever since. I'm not like caught up on every game, so it's hard for me to like declare like favorites and stuff, but I've played enough of them to understand like the fundamental gameplay conceits and then also be like, here's what I like and here's what I don't like. And then I think that there are a lot of newer fans who have probably jumped on because of like Fire Emblem Heroes, and obviously Three Houses was a big deal. And then,
actually, I think the big jump on point was Fire Emblem Awakening.
Yeah, Awakening was another big one to jump in. Everybody really liked that one. I also think that technically N-Gage is like their best-selling Fire Emblem yet, like even more than Three Houses. So that might be another infusion of new people. But it means that you've got a lot of this weird stratification where you have people who are playing jank who like they got their start on, you know, translations or just freeballing Japanese copies because they could read it. Nerds. Of like old ass, you know, NES and SNES games. Actually, what did the original Fire Emblem come out on?
I think it was straight up Nintendo. No, it wasn't Nintendo. I think it was SNES.
Let's see. Fire Emblem known as the Shadow of Dragon and Light. Platform. Famicom.
Oh, it was the
original Famicom. Yeah, so the NES equivalent. So yeah. Like, which, you know, I've played a lot of those old school games. They have their charm. Some of them are very well made. A lot of them are bullshit by design.
Nintendo hard,
baby. Working with the tech limits. Yeah, Nintendo hard. So, like, there are people who are kind of endeared to those games for that reason. And then, you know, there's the newer players, and it's like, ultimately with every game series, this is another thing that, like, Final Fantasy's gone through. Lots of other franchises go through this. I think Mario's gone through it a couple times, right? Though, Mario, it feels like they're always trying to be, like, new and funky fresh every time they release whatever they think a core Mario title is.
Funky!
You know? They're trying to do new shit. It doesn't always work, but, like, they're trying. But, like, Fire Emblem hit a point where they were like, okay, so on the one hand, a lot of our fans are here because this is a tactical RPG where the stakes are always high. We have, you know, permanent character death. Characters are missable. You can accidentally kill characters you can recruit. You know, if you want your optimal units after the time skip and or the baby dimension. I don't remember which game that was, but that was a thing. Because we didn't want to do a time skip, I guess. you need to like do your fucking support pairings and blah blah blah, and everybody's only one class, and stuff like that. And then eventually realizing like, wait, we're pouring a lot of money into these games, but we're not going to make that money out unless we make this accessible to people other than those nerds who played the games from the 90s. Which is a fair struggle that lots of old video game franchises had to come to grips with, right? Like, as gaming takes up a bigger and bigger slice of media, like gaming and gaming adjacent content is growing all the time and still getting bigger. So like it's a huge deal, but like as that grows, you realize that like, oh, we have to grow our audience because otherwise just the logistics of like economic inflation, as Lucky just beats the shit out of that guy.
Yeah, you don't shout people down, you smack them.
Okay. Well, I guess that is technically stealthier. And also way funnier. Just walk up to that red on a bridge, slap the shit out of him. Get down. Fates was the baby dimension. Okay, yes. It was very weird. Like, I never played Fates, but hearing that described, I was like, that's fucking weird. We needed the fucking, like, descendant system of units, but also we didn't want to write a time skip properly. Fuck it. And that's the thing, right? Like, as Fire Emblem, you, the writers, have to deal with the fact that some of the most famous and popular Fire Emblem games are the games where you play the like pairing dating sim RPG on top of the tactical RPG. And that's like a thing Fire Emblem is known for, so you got to deal with like, okay, how the fuck do we do this? Yeah, so Fire Emblem, I think, has really grappled with sticking to their guns. I think they finally, with Three Houses and Engage, like they've like, yeah, nah, like listen, we're not gonna get you any grief for casual or hardcore mode. You know, you do what you want to do, kind of a thing. And I think like I don't know if Engage was easier or not, but Three Houses was definitely designed where even if you didn't do casual mode, it was supposed to be much easier and more accessible, right? Because you could rewind time and shit like that.
I can take human hostages now.
Oh, Human Shield, classic. But yeah, I also like how, like I said, the Unicorn Overlord is just like, yeah, no, we're doing it straightforward. You're getting everybody. Also, fun fact, apparently Vanillaware said you can try and go straight to the final boss, but you will get obliterated.
I'm excited. Like, I've already
this game seems sick.
I've already put in for the collectors, the big physical one with the card set and everything. Stupid expensive, but I'm all like, no, I'm there. This is Vanillaware, baby.
Yep.
I don't think they've done me wrong yet.
Yeah, they've done great stuff, and their games deserve your support. That's like... This is me like waiting as that guy who bought both the PS2 and then the remaster of Grim Grimoire, a game which is pretty good and very interesting storytelling. So having you can watch me play once more. Some of the maps were very frustrating because I don't think they really did anything to like improve AI, and also it's really weird because none of my other games have this kind of console drift, so I think it was just because the way sensitivity was programmed into it that I couldn't adjust, but like the controls were fucking haunted when I streamed that game. And that's not a problem I have in most games these days. Like sometimes controllers get a little sticky, but like most of them are non-haunted. It was just Grim Grimoire once more for some reason. But like that game has a story where George Mikitami, like, they built a fucking sequel hook into it, and then it didn't sell well enough in its original release on the PS2 that, I'm trying to remember who published it. Let me double check.
Poor guy.
I think it was...
Oh, God. Okay.
Oof. Oh, his bones!
You needed those, man.
Yes, it was NIS, Nippon Ichi. Yeah, so it didn't sell well enough for Nippon Ichi to actually request the sequel. And basically, since then, Kamitani has made sure that every single game Vanillaware has ever made is designed to be standalone. Though I think you can, having played once more fairly recently and having played 13 Sentinels, obviously, story-wise and like thematic-wise, I think you can see the link between those two games. But it is definitely like, it's not a stealth sequel. 13 Sentinels is not in any way related to Grim Grimoire. It's just that 13 Sentinels is a game with time bullshit and strategy mechanics, so it kind of like links up. But yeah, it's a solid looking game, and you are right that I don't think Vanillaware has ever steered me wrong. Great artwork. And 60 plus unique characters, so.
So I'm guessing like it's gonna be like actual like NPCs. The other ones will be like monsters and mob characters, I guess.
Possibly. Also depend like saying that you can get obliterated. It may be entirely possible that there are like generic guys you can recruit to like backfill. But we'll see. The game's not that far out.
Sorry, I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at me because this is a thing where you literally do not advance unless you're on the fucking point. And I go running off to kill things. I'm all like, no, that's dumb, Lucky. What are you doing?
Yeah, you've got to push the cart.
Oh, I gotta find.
But yeah, so like, obviously they're doing a great reset of the game, so they did have to compress down some stuff. But do you feel like you've lost a lot of like options in gameplay in 3 from like overall?
Overall, no. Like at its fucking core, Payday is a game where you just shoot cops. You steal money, shoot cops, and they've caught that feeling good. Like I said, I am horrible at this game right now. That's because this is literally my 3rd map that I've done, but. Like, look at this sniper over here. Like, like, he's way the fuck over there. I have a fucking M4 right now. I'm gonna be like, fuck you.
Yep.
It's like, nah, it's still alright. Like, I'm like, I am... Okay, where's the fucking... Oh, they're over here. I'm a little trepidatious about the game because, again, like, they seem to be making some fucking choices that I'm not entirely sure about, like, the online only thing. Like, it looks like they've changed how skills and leveling have worked. Are they all the way back here? Oh shit, they are. Uh-oh. Yoink. But like, it's like once they iron out the matchmaking and maybe some of the server stability, like this game probably will be pretty fun. But like, and the online thing won't be so much a problem because like I said, Lotha's already bought this game. I know Axe and Aaron also have this game. So between of us, that's a full fucking crew.
Yep.
So we're not too. Is there something up there? There is something up there. What is that? Secrets. Yeah, I gotta go investigate what the fuck that was up there. What's this? Armor. Yoink. So, like, and as, like, the game goes on, I'm sure they'll be, like, doing like they did with Payday 2 and, just adding systems and other things, so... Like, it's one of those things, like, I feel I can't fully judge it until I actually see maybe a bit more what their fucking roadmap is going to be for everything. Like, the Infamy system was pretty cool. Like, how they redid their skills was also pretty cool. Can I jump this? I cannot jump this. Well, too bad. I got fucking... Haha. Oh, okay, there's more wheel ramps over here. Right. Hello.
Well, and, if... Oh, wow, sorry, just... The gap is very funny. So, like... Payday 2 lasted, like, literally 10 years before the sequel came out. Like, it was
Son of a bitch,
released.
I keep doing that! I gotta change my grenade to something else. Ah!
Oh, yeah, okay. You got a grenade on a weird keybind. But the original Payday 2 released in August 2013.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's been about 10 years. The reason why I chuckled earlier was because the original Payday, the heist, came out in 2011. So, a much faster turnaround on that entry to Payday 2 and then Payday 2 to 3. But assuming that Overkill is trying to, like, build another 10-year game, probably? Yeah, you got to give them a little leeway. Like, they have had, the previous version, the number iteration of Payday lasted 10 years. They had a lot of time to perfect their craft. Also, that did appear to be was that an in-house engine? No. But they were the last people ever to use the diesel engine. Well, not exactly. In 2017, something called Raid World War II used it, but the big thing that this diesel engine was used for was it was developed in collaboration with NVIDIA by Grin for the game Ballistics in the year 2001. It was used for, like, Bionic Commando and a couple of Tom Clancy games.
I can see that.
And then for Payday and Payday 2. So, the switch to Unreal makes sense, and that does mean they probably had to relearn some things in the process. Maybe why the game took...
Stop! I came around a corner!
But, like, yeah, they have to, like, redo the stuff. They stuck with that last game for 10 years with an old ass engine. So, like, yeah, no, there's some. I think you can give developers some leeway. I mean, personally, I don't know who makes the pick to try and do whatchamacallit, like, always on games. I feel like they should stop. It never fucking works.
Can I pick these up? Oh, that'd been cool if I could pick these back up and kept going, but okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, it was around for 10 years, so it probably was pirated a lot, but also, like, was it, like, infamously pirated a lot?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Here they are. This is definitely one of those things, though, like, while it's okay to play by yourself, this is probably one of those games that is best with friends.
Oh, yeah, no, certainly. I mean, just watching you get mobbed by guys a lot. There's something subtle about just a little bit of group coordination. We've talked about this with quite a few games, but it is something that, for instance, I notice a lot in PvP modes in Final Fantasy XIV. Like, if you're playing a big match like Rival Wings or Frontlines, well, it's not always perfect. If all you need is, like, one babysitter to, like, tell everybody where to go as a unit and not just, bitch at people to come on. Yes, I understand we're doing poorly, but, like, if you've got the time to type, come on, guys, you have the time to be, like, group on point, whatever, or, like, north. But if you have a babysitter who's willing to, like, say that every 5 minutes, not everybody listens, obviously, and sometimes they can be obnoxious, but, like, you get a little bit of coordination, it goes a long way, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to be the same for a game like this, and for lots of group shooter type stuff. Like, that's, I think that was off mic, but talking about, Helldivers 2, which also comes out early next year, adding to our pain. Once again, I would like to say, Sony, please, day and date. It's a first-party studio game. I know that Jim Ryan just talked a little bit of shit about Game Pass. Not entirely incorrectly. If his stats are correct, he does have a point. He said that at least all the developers he's talked to don't like Game Pass because it doesn't necessarily like communicate the value to them, and he expressed surprise and concern that Xbox Game Pass doesn't have more subscribers given how much money they've thrown into acquisitions, which, again, if the stats he's got are correct, where it's about, I think it's Game Pass is about 26 million subscribers. PS Plus, between the different levels, has about 50 million.
Really?
According to the statements from Sony, yes.
Well, I don't want to call Sony a liar, but I feel
you
like
got to remember there's multiple tiers, you know, and you need essentials to do like almost anything online.
I mean, true.
Like I don't know what like Xbox. I'm pretty sure Xbox Live is still separate from Game Pass. I don't know what that's like, right? But it is if that is correct, then yes, maybe Microsoft is not getting their money's worth out of these giant fucking acquisitions, whereas, you know, Sony does a little bit more of a tactical acquisition. Like one of the things Jim Ryan also apparently said in this interview statement was that he thinks they're going to make PlayStation will and Sony will accrue more value out of the like $3 million Bungie acquisition than Xbox will out of the like $69 billion or whatever, however much fucking money they're spending. It's a lot of money. It's multiple millions of dollars on Blizzard Activision King, which I do believe is actually going to go through. I think the UK finally approved it, and I think they were the last holdout. There might still be some suits that are like pending in America, but there was no like stoppage to the acquisition. That was denied by the judge. But yeah, that I could also see. Like, I don't know, if a hypothetical Destiny 3 is a good seller for PlayStation systems or whatever, or you know, this. I mean, I don't know how much profit this marathon game's gonna run, because it does seem like they're going for like another like free to play access point, and it's gonna be multi-platform. Also, by the way, hey, that's another thing that I will say Sony has over Xbox. They acquired Bungie. The next game Bungie is working on is still going to be multi-platform, whereas Xbox canceled all multi-platform versions of games the moment they acquired Bethesda. But yeah, that's just another funny percolating statement. And it's like, I mean, you know, if he wants to talk smack, he's the CEO. He can talk smack. I would much prefer if him and Phil Spencer like just actually fucking fought. You know, like man up and do that thing. Or, I don't know. I don't know if Jim Ryan's a gamer. I know Phil Spencer is a gamer. He bought the Horizon bundle of the PS5 because he couldn't find a different version. Not even Phil Spencer has that sway. Personally, if I was anybody at the PlayStation team and Phil Spencer, like, I don't know if he went this route, but if Phil Spencer, like, contacted me about, like, hey buddy, I wanna play PS5, I would hook him up just so I can say, yeah, Phil Spencer called us and he wanted a PS5. Smart on him though for checking out the opposition. That is important. But yeah, there's a lot of as always, there's a lot of smack talk going on, and the internet is even more smack talky than otherwise.
It's almost like right here where I wish I had Loth and Axe and Aaron right now as
trying to do some coordinated bag passing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you yell at AIs to pick up that bag?
I can give them bags, but which is kind of helpful sometimes, but unfortunately it looks like they might have changed some things, how some things work, but let me...
Well, I mean, it is a different engine now, so...
Yeah. Like I said, I hope they continue to push the bar on this game, I guess I should say.
Well, yeah, like I said, I assume they will, because, their last big game lasted 10 years. So
I also need to try what GTFO, because that is a game, apparently.
Oh, you're interested in that one? I've seen some footage. It's an odd one. Is that also by Overkill?
Yes.
I can definitely see, having watched some gameplay of it, I can definitely see the similarities. It's a weird one. For those of you who don't know, GTFO is, I mean, I guess the best way to talk about the mechanics is imagine a Payday heist, but you're like, I think, space convicts who are being sent to die in a hellhole space prison full of space zombie mutants.
Yep.
So, like, it goes a lot more hardcore on the stealth and survival aspect than Payday does. Like, if you accidentally trigger an enemy before you're ready, your team will just get absolutely schwacked. And you have to do shit like... Well, yeah, he is. And he is not flummoxed. He's just dumping that big drum shotty at you. But yeah, like if you get
I
and
can't.
GTFO has like mechanics. At least when I saw like Markiplier has a great series with all of his buddies. You know, like Jacksepticeye and stuff like that, where they've done some missions and died horribly. You have to like go to computers and look up where supplies are. You know, like you'll have a mission goal to like secure a key card to like Sector X, but you can go and like go to the computer and be like, "Hey, what's in Sector X?" And it'll be like key card, medical supplies, gun, and you're like, "Okay, cool." But then it'll tell you, Sector X is locked with a Sector Y key card, and you're like, "Fuck, gotta go to Sector Y first."
I have always been interested in it. I just never had the the opportunity. Oh, I'm still researching tanks, son of a bitch.
Sorry, I just popped into STEM. I do like that while Payday 3 says mostly negative on Steam, it does say bestseller or top seller.
No, people are just very not happy with the servers, with the server and online thing. I think like actually people get in the game, they're okay, but it's a lot of server side stuff. Like apparently, like you can't kick people, or it's
no. Why would you do that?
Yeah, like the game itself is fine, but it's all the forced social interaction that people don't want to deal with.
Yeah, no. I mean, you gotta be willing to give like what if you just got a gremlin? You know, you need a way to get rid of some peoples. Apparently, Konami is having a publisher sale.
Am I not level 7? I thought I'm level 7 here. It says I'm 9 over here.
Boy, this is weird. Oh, there is a special promotion.
Oh, wait, maybe I need... Well, I'm broke. I'm getting broke. Actually, can I change my cosmetic? Let me see here. Dark Orchid. Sounds like a novel, not title of a novel, but it's an actual color and looks pretty sweet to boot. I'm not sure yet. Like, I haven't done the tutorials or anything. Oh, maybe it's because I have to be, like, I think my gun has a level. Yeah, look at that. Oh, yeah. That's sick. Okay.
That was what Axe must have caught that for a second when you were looking around. Also, yes, apparently, Dark Orchid is a color.
Okay, that means I have to, if I want to... Okay, so this is probably what's... Okay.
All right, so we got some extra mechanics. We got some fun stuff in there.
Where's my Mosin? No Mosin? What the hell? Again, this is one of the things that's a little weird. I can't fault them too bad. I kind of wish they put in more weapons from, OG Payday 2. OG Payday 2, I say. But, like I said, we don't have a lot of weapon selection starting off here, and it feels a little weird.
Yeah, I don't know what their plan to roll some of that stuff out is. I definitely want to say, like, as opposed to the usual reasons why games get harsh reviews or review bombed, being like, shit, dude, I can't play the game, the servers are fucking down, that does kind of feel like a legitimate review, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me, though, if we want to take another aside from Payday 3 for the moment.
Yeah, go for it.
Lucky?
What's up?
You and I have joined an elite club.
Oh?
A limited time club that apparently will never be again, and it's very funny that you and I are part of this.
What?
We have both beaten Baltius before he was nerfed. Because it happened. They actually nerfed him. There was a patch to Armored Core 6 recently, and both you and I could say we beat that guy before that nerf happened, which is fucking hilarious.
Well, I told people he fucking cheats. I literally have video evidence of it.
Yeah, I don't know about the exact details of what they fixed on, but yeah, they did. The main thing that seems they did was mostly they just killed the homing on his big missile spam, which was a route I thought of. Like, that wasn't actually a problem in the strategy when I actually beat him, but it is, I think, kind of a thing that, like, a lot of people did not like because it did at times almost force you to take damage if you weren't in, like, the exact right position to do, like, a triple dodge, or if you had a build that couldn't triple dodge. But I still don't know. I mean, I could go back and replay that mission right now and see what he's like, but I don't want to.
Nope.
Because there's, like, a whole other boss fight before that and some other bullshit. But yeah, like, several other bosses apparently have been hit as well. Some stuff I haven't gotten to. Like some of them have had like their total health pools reduced and some other things. But yeah, it's very interesting
Weird.
because generally I don't associate FromSoft with nerfing bosses.
No, I do not either.
There have been, I think, a couple of times where there have been bugs in some bosses in some Soulsborne games where like the boss actually has like an incorrect damage number or their hitboxes weren't quite as intended, and those do get smoothed out. But generally, they don't do stuff like what apparently has been done to Baltius and like technically change how one of his mechanics works. Nope, there's a matchmaking error.
There it is. Let's go back and try it again.
But like, yeah, like they absolutely apparently killed the homing on his missiles, and that is unusual. And it makes me wonder, like, what was the difference there? Like, is it because this is, a revival to an old franchise they're trying to, like, revitalize? They wanted more market share? I mean, the thing that kind of bothered me about how much of a stunter Baltius was is that you are supposed to play this game, like, 3 times? Like, there's New Game Plus, and there's New Game Plus Plus, and there's, like, multiple endings and shit. So maybe that's why they did change it. They felt that, like, he was too much of a stopper on Chapter 1, and people weren't getting to the content they wanted people to get to? I don't know. I wonder if we'll ever hear about it in, like, an interview,
I wonder...
But yeah, that's just a funny thing.
Hey, Payday 3, trending.
But yeah, what were you going to say before that?
No, it's just weird, because, like... God, like for me, like, my problem was never necessarily the missiles or his attacks, although I fucking hate that grenade launcher with a fucking passion. It's always, me trying, like, it's him having his temporary shield, so I personally, like, my problem with Baltius was never, the missiles, it was his shield, which, apparently is still fucking in there. I'm wondering, and I guess my other problem was the fact that he can just instantly regen some of his fucking stagger meter, which was,
Yeah, he did some hard shedding in the, like, when he does a phase shift and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in the strategy I used to beat him, I didn't have a huge problem with the shield, but also because I was blocked up on a later boss who I don't think was nerfed. It took me a while to beat Smart Cleaner. I just did that today. Technically, I can access the end of Chapter 2 already. I'm sure there'll be even more nonsense there. But my primary problem with the way bosses seem designed in Armored Core 6 is that it's less about you, the player, make a cool build and then, like, are constantly upgrading that build and, like, figuring out what suits your gameplay style, and more like the Armored Core developers have a one weird trick strategy to a lot of their bosses where, hey, if you don't pick this strategy, you're going to have a bad fucking time. And it's like, I understand that there has always usually been a certain amount of tactical element to your loadout to these games, but it still feels like a waste of, like, all these fucking giant-ass robot parts, and, like, only some of the missions do I feel like I can just cut loose and go crazy, which is the part I like about Armored Core, right? Like, I love all these little fiddly bits, and, like, to beat the Smart Cleaner or the Street Sweeper or whatever the fuck his dumb trash robot name is, the strat I found that was recommended was something I did have to look up because I've been playing this game so off and on. I was like, oh right, that's a thing tetrapod legs do. You can hover. So I just did double grenade launchers, tetrapod legs, and, like, vertical missile launchers, and I just hovered over his smokestack, dumping grenades in the top, and, like, it worked. It was boring as fuck, but it did kill that guy pretty good. And I'm like, I don't know if that boss was well designed, because my options were use the cheese strat and just clean him up, or play the way I want to play, but then have a hell of a hard time because this boss is, like, turtly as fuck with giant sweepy crunchy arms, But then for a next mission, I switched back to my normal build of, like, reverse jointed legs and lightweight parts, and I was like, oh boy, holy shit, I'm schmoovin'. This is great. I love this. If only I could play every boss like this and schmoove.
Damn.
I mean, I guess you can, but certain bosses do seem like they are much more likely to fucking kick your ass. You're getting matchmaked right now.
I'm being filtered by Payday 3.
Correct. But yeah, so like it's very interesting to me that they did actually like not just like I said like you know, not like an error or a misgrab where like they're like, oh, these dogs do too much bleed, etc. Like they actually have, you know, pretty good one. So it's like, okay, neat. I'm glad to see that change. And if you are one of those people who's like, oh my god, I can't believe they made the game easier. Well, you've got a different game you can play now if you like playing hard games. Lies of P actually came out a few days ago. Pretty positive reviews. I'm wondering if it says something about the fact that the game is only an 80 on PlayStation on Metacritic, but an 84 on Xbox. Is there some sort of message here? But yeah, the game has come out, and generally people like it, though obviously it is much in that Soulsborne frame, even much more so than I think Armored Core is, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Stylistically, it seems very neat. I have heard a lot of people say that the actual, like, when you play the full game, the gameplay is actually much closer to Sekiro than Bloodborne.
Yeah, no,
what
the
people
game.
are saying.
Well, yeah, no. I think it has a Bloodborne aesthetic, but mechanically, no, it's much more Sekiro, as you have to focus more on parrying and blocking rather than just dodge rolling to solve all your problems.
It is a game I would like to get back into, because while I didn't have the time to beat the final boss, I played the demo until you get to the last boss of that area, and I'm just like, it seemed interesting enough.
Like, I want to play it more. I
did.
do like it. It's just the fucking problem is I have too many fucking games to play.
Yeah, and the problem with Soulsborne style games is you have to invest time.
Oh yeah.
Like, you can't just well, some people probably can, but those people are freaks. I cannot casually play a Soulsborne game. It is a game you have to like get into and dedicate yourself to like feeling the rhythm out on. Like, in that respect, I even think that Armored Core, with its mission-based gameplay, is much more accessible than a Soulsborne normally is.
Oh, yeah.
I have been able to go like, what the fuck do I do? Oh yeah, these are all my buttons. I remember now. Like sometimes I have to remind myself like, oh yeah, tetrapods can hover, because that's a mechanic they teach you, then they make you spend like 400,000 credits to acquire that mechanic. I do think that's a misstep, but I won't fight FromSoft about the economics of Armored Core right now, anyway. But there's so many fucking games. And so many games that I know are going to take my time commitment. Like, I am deliberately not getting into Cyberpunk 2.0 because I want to either try and, like... I'm not sure exactly which I'll do first. I should probably pick one and go with it, because I've only got a few days left. It's going to be Tuesday, I think, when it goes live. Phantom Liberty goes live. But I want to try and get some more time in either Sea of Stars or Armored Core. I should probably focus on at least one finishing Armored Core one run. That's probably shorter than finishing Sea of Stars one run.
I don't know. I'm
well,
like...
I don't... Good.
Actually, how far are you in Sea of Stars?
I just defeated the horror, and then the thing happened.
The botanical horror?
Yes.
Oh, I'm way ahead of you then. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you are. I've been doing a lot of 14 grinding over the last week, yeah. I defeated the Dweller, and then some stuff happened.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, all right, we're going to save here and come back later. And that was last night, so yeah.
Yeah, maybe
so I don't know how many more hours ahead Sea of Stars has. I feel like it's quite a few, though.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I think it's probably more realistic for me to focus on Armored Core than in that sense. Because I'll probably have to make some room on my PlayStation 5. 2.0 plus Phantom Liberty. Well, yeah, this is a thing, Axe, I've said to you several times, and you don't seem to process what I say it. Sea of Stars is not subtle. Like, it's very tropey. They have a character who complains or makes jokes about tropes. Like, they know what writing beats are, and they set them up very well. I could tell that things were, like, setting up that there was some shit going on. Okay, completed Act 1. Makes sense.
Yeah, no. I will say, since you've seen that, I almost thought Sarai was gonna betray us. I was like, gasp! No! I didn't see that coming. I was like, wait a minute here.
Yeah, there's some. They tried a little bit of a fake out, but
Yeah.
those other guys were a little too shifty. And,
Yeah, they were.
as much as I like cutaways to build dramatic irony, the fact that we kept cutting away to the numbered guys and they were talking about stuff made it like way too clear that there was going to be some kind of
Shim.
yeah, some kind of flim-flummery upcoming. Like it's, and like I said, I think the point of the game is like is to let you know, hey, because otherwise it would be like, well, the plot would be 100% over.
See, now I don't want to switch over to
whatever.
Sea of Stars because fucking I am like, I think I've just entered like Act 3. I think.
I will just like not watch the preview screen. It's fine. If you need to switch, it's okay. I see you keep getting matchmaking errors.
The thing that I find hilarious is I'm not even trying to connect with anyone else. I'm just by myself.
Yeah,
Oh.
and this is why the reviews are this way.
Yeah.
Like there is, other than I guess anti-piracy, there is no reason for like there to need this much like matchmaking connectivity for Lucky to do a bot room. But yes, lots and lots of games coming out, and like I said, speaking of Cyberpunk, 2.0 and Phantom Liberty have been wildly well received.
Wildly well received. Everyone's like, oh my god, this is amazing. And we have a lot of people going, yeah, no, Cyberpunk was always amazing. People are fighting about this in the streets.
I would be the one to say I'm the always man type.
Yep.
But yes, for example, Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty's Metacritic score is currently 88, with multiple 90s. Once again, slightly higher on Xbox and PC. Xbox is at a 90 even. Dexerto gave it a full 100. So yeah, like it's being very well received. I mean, it is fair to say that 2.0 is underlying a complete overhaul of the game. Like they are literally rebuilding mechanics to be a different way. But in general, I think a lot of the skeleton has already been there. A lot of people have been praising performances of actors because they did get them in for new lines, obviously for Phantom Liberty and stuff like that. But like at the same time, yes, it's been super well received. I did actually hear like some opinions of people doing like some round robin reviewing that like I heard like one person for instance over at Kind of Funny say that he just played Phantom Liberty and was like, yeah, it's all right. That part's middle of the road. But several other reviewers were like, I started completely over and did all the 2.0 stuff and Phantom Liberty, and I was like, 5 out of 5 type shit.
All right, we're in.
So like, yeah,
I'm in.
He's in. Heist voice, I'm in. Bane, I'm in. I don't feel so good. And other. I wonder, depending on how the matchmaking goes, I wonder if Russian Badger's going to have some Payday 3 videos in the can.
He probably will.
See how that works out. But yeah, so like overall, it's a big turnaround for everybody. Generally people agree that Cyberpunk 2.0 and Phantom Liberty are very good. They add a lot to it. There's a lot of customizing. There is a lot of stuff that I like. And I do kind of like how like there's still a little room for expansion. I watched some summary videos of like what 2.0 is like, and you can kind of see the way being paved for Phantom Liberty, because while they advertised like vehicle missile launchers and more in Phantom Liberty only, technically vehicle mounted weapons are in the base game. It's just that most of the vehicles you need to get them, you have to steal right now. And I do not believe there is yet a way to customize vehicles or like rinse stolen vehicles. It seems to be their solution to like vehicle variety is just they added a fuck ton more. There are even a couple more in
Oh
2.0.
man, I should have put
but
the
yeah, like
silencer on.
it is handy, yes. But like they've already added like completely revamped vehicle combat in 2.0. The perks are in. You can drive now, and like I said, if you jack a police car, they actually like do stuff. The police are supposed to be more responsive and more organic. They don't come out of their own elemental plane of cops. And generally, like, there's loads of new animations. Like I said, there's new voice dialogue. It's good. Like I said, I don't think the game could reach this state without having a solid underlier, but I understand that it was difficult for some to get into. I am glad that they have done this turnaround, though, and, like, it... I mean, I can only assume that at the Game Awards for the next, like, 5 years, they're gonna put Cyberpunk right next to No Man's Sky with Best Ongoing Game. Maybe not the next 5 years, because there probably won't be any more updates after Phantom Liberty, but still. Well, or big updates, I should say. There'll probably be patches and stuff, because God knows if everything functions exactly right, but...
I can't close that door. Okay.
In general, the 2.0 is being well received by people who are both playing it now, because it is out now, and by reviewers, and then Phantom Liberty is being well received by reviewers and early access features. Ooh, hold on. Wait. Gamerant, Phantom Liberty is going to add an amazing feature for weapon collectors. What is it? Tell me, Gamerant. Sometimes your micro articles are slightly unhinged, but sometimes you have good stuff. Expansions, fill the brown kinetic weapons. We'll lift that limitation by to repurchase all iconic weapons from a black market vendor. Okay.
Actually, do you know how they changed the crafting system? Is it just all unlocked from the outset? You don't.
I believe it is all unlocked from the outset, is what they said. I haven't seen people talking about it yet, but I'm sure I can look it up on YouTube because there's some. There's plenty of whatchamacallits, like videos and stuff talking about it.
Let's go, buddy.
But yeah, that's pretty neato. You know, stuff going on. You can acquire stuff back.
Oopsie.
So yeah, it's good. Straight up, like we are now in the era of people are like, yo, is Cyberpunk 2077 the greatest gaming turnaround of all time? And it is an interesting discussion because the three pillars of the comeback, the salty run back, seem to be Cyberpunk, No Man's Sky, Final Fantasy XIV. Now, I don't want to discredit Yoshi P's super hard work in making, like, literally nuking 14 from orbit and building it into a whole new game for 2.0. At the same time, I feel like the comparison to 14 is a little unfair because, like, I mean, it's still an ongoing game. It's doing great. It wins those awards a lot of years. And we've even talked to, like, you guys have talked to me as I went through AAR that, oh, yeah, they've even gone back and rehauled AAR to be more compressed. But I feel like Final Fantasy XIV is almost cheating because after the 2.0 switch, the game has also been going on for 10 years, right? Like, it has had the time to improve and refine itself further and actually added totally new content on top of the revamp content. So it's not quite the same, but it still definitely deserves the praise for being revampified. That guy chose the wrong time to leave his fucking office.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, is that Jim from accounting getting beat up out there? Oh, and you can just tell him, like, follow me. Stop here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You could do that in the first one, but I think it's a little bit easier now this time.
Yeah, I think I remember some stuff like that, but it was a little finicky. And there may have been certain points of the game where you needed, like, certain builds or skills to do it. Like I said, they overhauled, speaking of games that have existed for like 10 years, they overhauled Payday 2 a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Still glad you can find fucking free money because, seriously, who leaves a like stack of 20s on their fucking office shelf? Even in a hoity-toity bank. Who does that?
Yeah, this is the safe mini game I was talking about.
Got to spin that dial.
Like,
You
the
get some
closer
sort of
you get.
feedback when you're close. Okay.
And then...
Ah, okay.
So you can
I
go...
bet if you have controller, Rumble goes crazy.
Probably does.
By the way, safe cracking is not actually this easy in real life, chat.
Well, old
At
Tom...
least not with your naked hand.
No, if you can, like... That trick of putting your ear up and stuff, that it does work because you can actually hear the tumbler clicking. And sometimes you can feel it. Like, I've actually, like... My friend has showed me some, like, lock... Like, because I actually have a lock picking set and, like, you know, took, like, and learned some stuff about safe cracking. Like, if you, like, are very slow and very precise, you can feel the slight difference in shit happening. But that's only for, like, old locks.
Yeah.
Like, modern mechanical locks,
Yeah, everything will be a you know, like, whisper smooth, you know, alloy that's, like, definitely not going to get any grindy out of it.
No. Boom. Money, 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 money. All right.
Interesting. Sorry, I just opened up an article like, okay, how do you start Phantom Liberty? There's apparently going to be a skip button. You can just skip Act 1 and part of Act 2 to go straight to Phantom Liberty with a pre-assigned build. But CD Projekt Red says you shouldn't do that, and I would not.
I wonder why they made it an option.
I assume it's for people who want the content but do not want to, because the normal way you do it, you have to get to Act 2, and specifically you also have to do the entire Voodoo Boys line.
Ah, that's right.
So it's not even just that you have to complete Act 1, you also have to complete one of the major plot quest lines to, like, I guess, make enough of a name for yourself to get noted. But also, if you already have an old save, like if you went back into 2.0 with one of your, like, endgame saves and, you know, did your free V respec, which is, by the way, an interesting thing and why I think they have a build point planner. You cannot pay money infinitely to respec now. You have a limited number of respecs per playthrough.
Oh, interesting.
So you have more options, especially with the raised level cap in Phantom Liberty, but you have to be pickier about them. That said, it shouldn't be, like I said, look, just if you want to, just look at the little app they have on the web for this, the website, and play around with it to get a feel for it. It's not that hard to figure out what your build should be.
I already got
especially
what
when
I'm
you've
gonna
got
do.
a lot of points to when you've got a lot of points to play through with Phantom Liberty.
Oh
but
shit! This fucking door fucking actually blocks the line of sight. Thank God. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I'm not here.
I'm not here.
I'm not here, buddy.
We busted out at the same time. It's great. Worst security guard in the fucking world.
How many times do I have to slap you to go down?
Okay, that. So I understand now. He can't see because his brows are made of steel. What the fuck? This cannot be. Well, I mean, it probably is as intended because it's payday, but like this is fucking wild. So that guy had zero peripheral vision, right?
Right.
Like, he did not see you in a doorway crouching, nor did he see you walk up on his side.
Oh, here's something I do like, by the way, here.
No. What you got?
Hang on. So, when we go loud here, we're about to enter our first response, right? So, we can take hostages.
A classic.
Mm-hmm. Now, what we can do is we can trade hostages now to delay for time.
Ooh, that is good. Yeah.
It takes more hostages every time, but there are certain skills you can do. And you see, we have a timer now. So the more, like, one of the things that someone could do. Oh, hey, get down, buddy. So one of the things that people can do is they can treat like you getting 2 hostages, using 1 hostage for like 2 hostages.
Mm.
So this is something I think super fucking neat.
Yeah, so even if you do go loud a little unexpectedly. If you've got the pre-prep, you can be like, wait, hold up, don't start yet. And I think that is actually like a little realistic. Like you said, you're waiting for your first response timer, so you have hostages. So like you immediately are like, all right, we've got hostages. Fuck off. We'll release hostages, and delay the assault. That works. Okay, that's neat.
Yeah, no. So I like that.
They've done some work, obviously. Like I don't think that it doesn't sound like there's anything wrong with the gameplay part of the game when you can actually play Payday 3. It does obviously, like you said earlier, there's a little bit of a concern about their decisions with why the game is the way it is. Also, what am I looking? Oh, it's a thermite tub. Okay. I was like, what am I looking at? Why do you have a baking tin full of blood? No, it's your thermite catcher. Okay.
Orange soda. Yeah, now we do the classic thing of we have to wait for that to burn, and the cops will try to pull the fire alarm and slow it down.
I would slow it down is fair because you cannot douse thermite with water. It is self-oxidizing and super hot.
We also got some good mantling, by the way.
Ooh, mantling, yeah, great to see.
Oh, see, they turned it off, so now I gotta go find the fucking, thing. It's not that far, though.
I should boot up Titanfall 2 sometime and see how that's doing. Because apparently they fixed their servers and stuff, and it's ready to rock. Even got some new game modes. Or some restored old game modes, I don't actually know.
Okay, this is stupid, but I love it. Just look at this this cop, you're just going nuts.
Yeah. Tie a waste paper.
Alright, I gotta find the thermites outside.
Oh, also speaking about cyberpunk stuff, something that people have mentioned and spotted. If you go to the cemetery, you will find memorials for the Edge Runners gang. So that's you know, many people are, you know, bawling in the streets.
As you do.
I mean, I think I talked about this where, like, after Edge Runners, right, like, I did a new character run, and, like, I had many emotional moments where I would just be wandering through Night City and I Want to Stay at Your House just comes on the radio and I'm just like, oh boy, this is not what I asked for. It's like the cyberpunk equivalent of, like, walking through a hub city in 14 and then you hit the zone where answers start playing and you're just like, huh.
That's illegal?
This hit different all of a sudden, and I don't even have the full context for that, but I understand there's something going on here, and I'm just like, this is weird. This is a feeling I was not expecting.
Oh yeah, they have like fucking. We're getting a little bit more environmental damage. Look at this shit.
Oh yeah, that's what you can do with newer physics engine models.
Like, I'm glad it's not like fully destructible, but just show that we're kind of fucking up the place. That's fine. That's fucking fine in my books.
Also, want to say, just love a good clean reload animation on an M4. You just, you know, tilt it in a little bit, give the clip the mag your whole full chunky stack. Sometimes you do a little bit of the flick. I bet if you had an HK, you'd do the classic slappy, which you are actually like that is how the charging handle on an MP5 is supposed to work. By the way, you were actually supposed to give that a very hearty flick to make sure it worked.
Damn it! Yeah, if I, like, throw it onto them, they will pick it up. And then they'll follow you, so you can, like, kind of move multiple bags, but you have to be the one interacting with them, so it's a bit of a pain sometimes.
Yeah.
Also, they very clearly, like, stayed out, like, the cops have new tricks. That was a EMP that I just, you know, walked straight up into. Give me that. Sure, why not? Woo! Oh. One more?
Keep throwing more of the fire.
Alright, where are people?
Spicy fire. Thermite. Love a good thermite.
No, but like I said, I'm excited for Phantom Liberty. Like, I also probably have to look at my PS5 store and be like, all right, what am I not going to play in the like next reasonable amount of time?
Yep. Nope. Yep. Because I don't even know how big 2.0 is. I think it might be bigger than I've got free space on my PS5. Well, at least the download size, because, you know, downloading is not necessarily install size, but your PS5 will need some room to move some files around.
Yeah.
So it hasn't even updated automatically, I don't think, yet, unlike, whatchamacallit, Armored Core did. Though also I, you know, have the disc originally, so it may be because I haven't stuck the disc in. Oh, that does remind me, though, since we mentioned 14 in the wraparound news, there have been a couple of 14 announcements coming around the TGS sphere.
Mm-hmm.
Has the letter from the producer happened yet?
No, it happens tonight at 11 p.m. Lucky Standard Time, so...
All right, yeah, so tonight. So it's not whole hog on the deets yet, but a few things have been teased. They've been talking about, you know, there'll be another VNC dungeon in this upcoming patch. If you are interested at all in trying the award-winning about Final Fantasy XIV, the 6.5 patch is when they are going to add Stormblood to the free trial. This means that they are about to expand the free trial to include all of the content I have streamed in the game so far. You know, it's not exactly a 1-for-1, as you can tell by the thumbnail. I did unlock and have started working a little bit on Gunbreaker recently. I got Paladin to 73, and I was like, all right, time for a new tank. I immediately enjoy Gunbreaker because it has a fucking gap closer, which at 73 as a Paladin, I still do not have. I still cannot approach enemies outside of PvP. So that is a huge breath of fresh air to just be like, hey, you guys, fuck you, I'm here already. Also, just in general, Gunbreaker is pretty baller. I appreciate that their combat stance is just rest the gun over your shoulder. We're chilling.
It's not a gun, it's a blade.
Well, it's a gun blade. It has gun-like elements.
Yeah, remember we were talking about die packets earlier? These ones have it.
Oh, I do. Okay, that's yeah. All right, so something you got to watch out for.
Yeah.
I can see. At least they make it obvious.
Well, yeah.
Though I suspect in real life they probably want to make it obvious because they would much prefer that you don't fucking do it at all.
Well, yeah, no. But yeah, yeah. I have to run in here and try and disable the die packets before they go off. I was only able to do 4, but 4 is all we can really carry, so we're getting the fuck out of here.
Fair enough.
Let's boogie.
But yeah, that's actually, speaking of the thing, I appreciate that that's actually like a very early bit of dialogue in the Gunbreaker quest is explaining the etymology. You know, your cat dad buddy.
Cat dad.
Explains to you, okay, so we used to be called Gunhilda's Blades. And that got abbreviated to Gunblades, which people associate with our iconic weapons. At the same time, some other guys were developing swords that were also guns, and guns that were also swords. And because they were similar, people called those guns. But because we would rush into battle and kick the shit out of them, we got to be called Gunbreakers. Like, rad. Rad, do a front flip. Because a lot of moving backward and forward in Final Fantasy is forward or front flips, or back flips. But there is, you know, several other things. Like I said, the free trial's getting expanded. So, like I said, I've clocked in almost 500 hours in this game. Obviously, some content I have technically done. You know, like I've looked at a few things, and I've unlocked at least one job that is, you know, ahead of me a little where I am in terms of the X-Packs. But most of the stuff and all of the MSQ I have done has been accessible through Stormblood up to this point. So, like, that's a lot of content, y'all. Big free trial.
Shit.
And they're, like I said, they're playing a new VNC dungeon. And they seem to the developers seem to be liking those, but we'll see about, you know, basically saying that, like, once again, it will depend on if people actually do them or not if they continue into Dawn Trail.
Fuck. Sorry, Hawks. I don't know if I can. Oh shit! That boy just
Yeah,
that dude just
fucking shoulder checked you from way back there. Is that a dozer again?
I think that was a dozer, but
He had the big drum mag, but like it. Even if it is, boy, that's something you do not expect to see every day. Is that cop straight up bum rushed you? But another like really weird thing that they announced was that Final Fantasy XIV is getting an official tabletop RPG.
ah, son of a bitch, I lost again. I really need a friend on this. Fuck.
Can you do? I mean, obviously, you probably still have to do the server side, but can you do 2 men, 2 bots?
Probably, yeah.
All right, we'll keep it in mind. Lav is not available. He's doing he's doing other stuff during the weekend.
No, these bots aren't as invincible as they were in Payday 2. Like I said, just to be fair, I am low level. I don't have like big like skill setups, and you know it's day 1. But ugh, after like 3 or 4 fucking waves, like I cannot keep up with fucking with these guys.
A lot of the cops. Do you still get EXP for a loss?
Yeah, I still got a little bit.
Okay.
All right, so I got tank here. My armor bag has more. Okay, then I get grit. Okay.
But yeah, Final Fantasy XIV is getting an official tabletop RPG. They're even going to have a starter box. Personally, I think this is a great move from a business perspective because, like, TTRPGs really, like, popped up, you know, over a little bit before and definitely through the COVID era, like, when a lot of people rediscovered their hobbies. Obviously, we had to turn to VTT and stuff, but, like, there was a big overhaul revolution. And what I personally really appreciate is, despite the fact that it seems a little like D&D coded, there is no Wizards of the Coast or D&D branding anywhere to be seen on this product. It is not made with 5e. The starter set they're offering will include 10 D6s and 6 D20s, so it does seem like it's still going to be probably mostly D20 based. Though you never know, they could be like 3d6 for their primary roles and like d20s for something else. But yeah, you know, they've got 3 and 5 recommended players. It's going to come out in I think May of next year. Yeah, the starter set is going to cost about $60. You can pre-order from the Square Enix store right now. And their plan, based on their images, is basically they're going to include like rules, supplements. The starter set's going to have like some Square game tiles and some like. I mean, they look like they're cardboard cutout type figures, but you know you're gonna have some little guys to move around. And the character sheets that we at least see for sure is shows Dragoon, Black Mage, White Mage, and Warrior, all of which still have their like DPS or healer coloring in the little character sheets, and they look like they have the icons from the game. So it looks like they're doing a very faithful attempt to like translate the game rules into a tabletop format. And I am absolutely interested in this sort of thing. Like, I love RPGs that are not D&D. While I do think there is a very robust conversion of Final Fantasy XIV to 5e that has some good ideas in there, I'm glad to see Square, like, trying to get in here a little with a product that's fairly approachable. And the starter set, by the way, comes with a player's guidebook and a game master book. And several like pre-made sheets and shit. Some very clean looking dice. Ooh, no, I'm gonna have to buy this just for the dice. These D20s have I can't tell. Is that the 1 or the 20 face? One of their faces though is the icon of 14, the meteor.
Ooh.
I'm just like, ooh, that's good. And I think all the numbering is in the 14 font as well. So like. It's nice, crisp branding. but the way they phrased it is it's going to contain like new like lore and characters specifically designed so you can build your own adventure, in the world. So not necessarily, replay being your own warrior of light, but suitable adventuring. That's nice. That's neat. I'll look at it. I'm very curious because this is a thing that several RPGs and several video games have done. I'm very curious if in May of next year there'll be like a Critical Role one shot, which would be very funny because, as you know, Sam Riegel, who was part of Critical Role, was Alphinaud's original voice actor before they did the switch to England. And video game companies are not shy about getting the fact that the CR voice actors are the voice actors in there. I know that when I think it was when P4 Golden did their Steam release, Critical Role got some ad reads. Hey, in case you guys forgot, Rise was Laura Bailey. Sam Riegel is currently Teddy, I think. I don't remember if he was the original Teddy. And like I'm pretty sure Liam O'Brien had a role in there somewhere too. Like, so there's funny things that could be had there. Also, I don't think they've confirmed the English voice cast.
Het 5 Red Fox, all the range of a sniper, all the fuck you of an anti-material rival. End the war before it starts. Ugh. I love cheeky flavor text.
I'm pretty sure Troy Baker's kanji, I think. Or was.
The Marcom Mamba MGL. One grenade from this bad boy is enough to wipe out a whole squad of cops. You get 6. Do the math.
Nice. I appreciate this.
Yes, I do too.
Good work. Also true.
Alright, so I've upgraded I've gotten enough levels, I've upgraded my armor to medium. I was able to actually get my fucking tank skill unlocked.
Nice.
So
reputable sources are saying that Matt Mercer is Vinnie Valentine in Remake.
Oh, okay.
I still thought it sounded a little bit like Crispin Freeman doing more of his Alucard voice, but I'm sure Matt Mercer knows him, so he could probably do a decent range. Matt Mercer is also usually pretty flexible, TBH. Yeah, I think. I mean, like I said, my first impression was that Crispin Freeman, but it being Mercer is not crazy. But that would also, I assume, mean that Square Enix is willing to sign some checks. So you never know what we might see. So, but yeah, I'm interested in the, like, literally just sight unseen, the fact that they are making a tabletop version of the MMO type RPG to, like, the tabletop format. I am, one of D&D 4th Edition's strongest soldiers. It looks like it has grid squares, which, has a very real possibility that it will also be slightly more FF Tactics leaning. I'm there. I'm down to clown. I'll pay $60 for a box. Just give me those sweet, sweet dice, baby.
Ooh, we can go up to like level fucking 147? Jesus.
We're pre-planning. All right. I will leave Lucky to his leveling for a sec because I need to step away. Yeah, we've been going for about an hour and a half. I need to go stretch my legs. Chad, I recommend you also stretch legs occasionally, so I'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll use this cotton gloves.
Recording.
I've never been a fan of just the fucking blue surgical gloves.
Mm-hmm.
Seems unprofessional. Go with a guy's cotton.
Yeah, I think the blue surgical is probably technically realistic because you can buy those, in boxes of $100. But yeah. Anyway, I'm actually 7.
Yeah, step away. All right. We're slowly getting there. So how do I unlock this skill? So I'm a little confused right here. It says it's researching Infiltrator. Do I have to, like, research all of these before I get my next tier? What is this? Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying, Stardew Valley, Mar. This is still one of my favorite games. Well, let's see here. Well, if I have to research something, I'm going to research mowers so I can pick that up. But now that I'm a little bit chunkier, gun's not necessarily stronger, but I do have a silent option now if I need to cap a fool. I will not just ineffectually pistol whip him. Wait, is there a melee move that I missed? I don't even know. I should check, but let's see if we can get another game here. We'll try the bank again. Normal. I am not doing anything harder than normal until I get some of my friends in here. Am I a bitch? A little bit. Do I care?
It's a fair cop. I mean, it's normal.
Do I necessarily care? No. Aaron asks if you're free later. Please help me. Help me!
Help him. Help him now. But yes, I'm back. Well, since we were talking about Final Fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
Now we've been going for about an hour and a half. Guess what, chat? It's time to talk more about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Because you thought the trailer and the PlayStation thing was enough. No. Square is going hard on this press blitz. I mean, I know they go hard because of 16, but like, whew.
I think that a lot of people were expecting, like, after they did the State of Play, that there would be more hyping. Not necessarily more news, but more hype at Tokyo Game Show. But thanks to, actual people being on site and, interviews happening, we're getting a lot more detail out of there than probably was initially expected, I would say.
Yeah, so they have a huge booth with loads and loads of screens. They have a lot of, because don't forget that Square is in the figure business, they have a lot of figurines on display, including like new little polygon figures, which I love. They've got, what do they call them? I think key arts figures.
Yes.
They have figurines based on their original like key concept art for those characters. And then they have like very modern figurines and statuettes, including obviously the 19 inches of Sephiroth and stuff like that. But yeah, so they have done press releases. There was oh, actually, what did they call it technically?
Yeah, I'm looking at you. What you gonna do about it?
Yeah, I mean, they just, I guess it would be. Hold on, actually, do they have a title here on this thumbnail? Yeah, it was just they did a stage presentation that was streamed. There have been multiple hands-on demos for people on the show floor. I think we can probably assume that we're probably going to get, just like they did for Remake, probably the same playable demos that are available like at shows will be available to the public, probably I would say in December or January, to keep the hype going again.
Hype.
But yeah, there's also been a blitz of interviews and panels and more, and all kinds of extra stuff has come out. So they've gone above and beyond even what I thought was practical for this game. They're saying the game is going to be, if you want to just inhale main story, it's going to be about 40 hours, but we'll have upwards of 100 hours of content if you do all the side missions. There are many new and returning minigames, including, they have officially confirmed there will be a card collecting minigame, Queen's Blood, that will last the entire length of Rebirth. So presumably something you can pick up in Calm, and then we'll have a side quest related to it going until the end of the game. So that's pretty rad. I believe they've confirmed not only can you capture chocobos, but also I believe there will be some level of chocobo breeding and chocobo customization. You can pimp your chocobo, which very much reads like they took some notes from 14 there.
Interesting. You can break the hasp on and you can do it not without breaking, without thinking. I think this is the thing I'm liking is that we can do more things not masked up.
Yeah, that was always something that was a little, I don't want to say weird necessarily, but a little bit challenging about the way that Payday 2 worked was that while like stealth-only strategies existed, they were very like specific and forced
fuck, that was me.
because there was a very limited number of shit you could do.
Yeah. Okay, I really gotta work on my fucking keybinds here.
Like, we're on keybinds. Oh, actually, this reminds me, though. At TGS and also some trailers, I forgot to talk about one last 14 thing. 14 is preparing to collab with KFC. There is a statue of the Colonel as a black mage at TGS.
Sounds good to me.
So watch out for your Kentucky Fried Chocobo. But yes, so a lot of Chocobo stuff is in. Apparently, there was a discussion about how Red 13 would ride a Chocobo, and they ended up with the final version. After some debate, they decided to go with a straightforward one. So I believe in interviews before this round of press releases, Nora and some of the other producers were saying stuff like, you not to expect a like one-to-one recreation of the world map, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet, these motherfuckers, you are looking at technically multiple open world areas. Like, obviously there will be cities and there will be like specific dungeons and stuff, but like, it seems like there will be multiple zones where you can just fucking hoof it in the great outdoors, right? Not probably a one-to-one recreation of the world map exactly, but like going for a lot of that feel. They have confirmed Chadley is coming back. He's left Midgar. He's got his little safari dress on. And apparently, Chadley will basically help you with the bog standard open world towers. So you will have like tower type objects you can like activate, and that will give you fast travel points and show you some points of interest on the map. Not necessarily required to do it, but like just something to let you like organically fill out the map on your own time. For instance, if you were not going to do all the side content and we're just going to run like main story content, you might not have to like get up all in some of this stuff. So like that seems all right to me. There is a reason why, like, I think it gets formulaic, but there's a reason why we have these kinds of towers mechanics in open world games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it just became a normal standard for a reason. But yeah, there was confirmation that the Tiny Bronco will be in it, which is basically a soft confirmation that we will see Sid in this game. I think most people assumed that, but yeah. There's going to be some Tiny Bronco stuff. I'm trying to think about all the other big highlights, because there's so much stuff. The game is going to be dense as hell. Like, they got so much stuff going on. But, you know, there's fucking maps, there's Chocobo stuff. Oh, actually. Another good one is they have confirmed there will not be a PHS-type system. Instead, your party will just grow as you get more people. So I assume that you will either have the ability to like freely swap like outside of combat, or when they need like characters to be focused for specific stuff, like, you know, for instance, like, you know, you go to the caves below Cosmo Canyon, right? You're gonna take Red 13 with you. Cloud's gonna go, obviously, and then, you know, they'll probably like narrow it down to like one character will go with you, kind of a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
To make it make sense. But yeah, no, your party will not technically be splitting up.
I mean, that's
as
good.
much as they did. Yeah. This is technically a drift. Like I said, the PHS, well, obviously that was how you built your party. Usually picking your party members was, and, you know, calling them up on the PHS was influenced by lines like Barrett would say, like, oh, Shinra's going to find us if we don't split up, kind of a stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, yeah, no. There's quite a lot of good work there with the team to just, get everybody grow. They've confirmed a piano playing minigame.
Piano playing minigame?
Yeah. I mean, that is from the original, technically. In that there is a piano in Tifa's house in the flashback.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah. And technically there was a mode to that where you could get like assistance on the keys and see what notes they're bound to, so you could actually like play songs that way.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't just a. I think there was a simplified mode where you would just interact with it like a little, and it would like give you a secret. But yeah, so it sounds like they're actually going to like bring that in. There are hilarious images on the internet of Cloud, Buster Sword, all sitting at a fucking piano. Also, apparently the Mog House minigame's going to come back. I always remember that one being really weird.
More cops on the way. They're in 30 seconds.
But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. Real cool shit. They have mentioned that the way they phrased it is that there will be opposite sex and same sex interactions possible at the Gold Saucer date. So I'm not exactly sure again how they will make that work, but it does seem like the Barrett date is going to return, and also maybe other stuff.
A Red 13 date, let's go.
That'd be pretty rad. Obviously, they're going real ham on the synergy type stuff. Oh, also, I should say this because I was talking earlier about how like they've gone even above and beyond my expectations. They confirmed, no, Sephiroth is straight up playable in the Nibelheim flashback. Like he is his own unique character with a moveset. This makes me suspicious because, as usual, I would assume that they would not go to all that work in something that's not going to come up more than once. But yeah, and apparently Sephiroth's unique ability is, I mean. The way people phrased it was they say it seems like it's based on the Phoenix shift from 16. You teleport to people. But also that does mean that Sephiroth teleports behind people, nothing Personnel Kid. Which is great. So yeah, there's a lot of, real great fun.
Oh, I will say something. I'm sorry, not to cut you off. I do want to note that I do find this nice. Your bots will put down their fucking consumables now. Maybe not in the best place, but they'll put them fucking down.
That is good.
Uh-oh. Hi, guys. How's everyone doing?
Ooh, interesting. Sorry, I'm looking at a screenshot of the menu. So you've got item craft. Keep in mind, this is the Japanese version. Materia and equipment. Battle settings, which apparently looks like where you can go to set your battle leader and your active party members. And it's got like a menu of like Cloud, Barrett, and Red 13 in, and then Aerith and Tifa kind of standing in the back, so you can like swap everybody around and pick who leads in the fight. Enemy report, magic, item, status, manual, system. But yeah, the general impression we've gotten is, I think I said this last week, but it is they are just still doubling it down. Every time you would have a moment where you're like, oh, I wonder if we would, will we do that weird thing?
We are doing that weird thing.
Yes, no, we're just straight to that. Like, they have not explicitly, like, no footage has been shown of the boat sequence of people in disguise, but again, if you are counting on Red 13 to be dressed as a Shinra security soldier, have you seen him try to ride a chocobo? We're gonna put him in the little hat and the pants and the jacket,
Oh shit, they have saved. Aw, I didn't even realize we have fucking safe deposit boxes here. Son of a bitch.
Oh, and they are interactable.
Yeah, they're lockpickable.
But yeah, it's going to be like they did. They talked about the size, for instance. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will be about 150 gigs. That's the reason why it's 2 discs, because I think current Blu-ray size is limited to about 100 gigabytes per disc.
Mm-hmm.
So they needed 2.
I'm glad we have
you're
gone.
not-
I'm glad we're going back to multiple disc games, though.
Yeah.
30 seconds until the assault. Lock and load.
Well, and I assume that means that, like, while there will obviously be, like, online updates and there may be some synchronizing, they need those Blu-ray discs to carry most of the game. Like, not like, oh, you're going to get most of your files off the internet, right?
Right.
Like, no. It's on the discs, baby. You will not need the second disc after you have installed it. But yeah, no, it's just so much coming out. It makes me kind of wonder, like, what they're holding back. Like, I mean, obviously we
shit!
haven't seen hide nor hair of Sid.
Whoa!
Cloaked.
I'm glad they
obviously,
kept the sound.
Okay, I was about to ask. I obviously don't have sound ups. Do they still make the same sound?
Yes, they do.
Name 5 things that aren't Cloaker. Ammo bag, hostage, Cloaker.
Son of a-
They praise the fucking bollards. Lower them or the van won't be able to get in.
Oh, sorry, that's a great meme I'm going to retweet. It's somebody quoting the tweet about Final Fantasy XIV, and they're like, finally, Final Fantasy XIV offline, about the tabletop RPG. That's a good meme. Thumbs up.
Rescue units are on site.
They have actually, like, explained about the Segway. Like, obviously people were asking about that. And they said that, yeah, we wanted to, like, give you a relaxed vacation feel in Costa del Sol. Like, we want you to feel like you're taking some time off. And I'm like, that's nice. I like that. And so, yeah, you get to scoot around on a little people mover. Like, nah, all this shit is good. Coaster Bow, piano game, Google House.
I mean, I'm super excited for Gold Saucer. Just all the shenanigans that's gonna happen in there.
Yep. Oh, that's another thing you just reminded me. They confirmed the original 7 areas of Gold Saucer are returning.
Oh, okay, cool.
They will actually have the separate domes. So that also probably means we can expect a few mini games they have not announced, such as, I don't know if the like roller coaster rail shooter is exactly coming back, but probably something like that's going to hit up again, and a few other things. So that's yeah, very interesting to see all this stuff kind of.
They'll need more than 3 guys and counting. We have what we need.
A lot going on.
All right, I'm testing my next theory here. If Hawkson has a bag on his back and we leave, will it count it? I think it does.
This could be something. There's a safe deposit box.
Yo, what? Sorry, I'm reading more. I'm finding out new things as I scroll Twitter. Talking about exploration in FF7. You can fast travel to places and chocobo signs you visited before on the world map. So there is a world map you can actually look at and fast travel to points of interest. You can unlock new icons for the map and investigate stuff for Chadley. And also, chocobos can dig for treasure.
Oh, that's cute. I love it. Hell yeah,
No.
chocobos.
Yeah, it's just fucking damn, dude. Everything coming out. It's hitting different.
Okay, so it does research when I equip it. Okay, perf. Let's see. I could.
But yeah, it's going to be a big release, and there's going to be a lot of stuff going on in that front chunk of the year.
It's gonna be a little crazy.
Oh, though, before I move on to some of those other games, we are seeing stuff about, obviously, because those games are coming out early next year. And I got a few of those I might want to mention and stir some conversation about.
Before recoil. Nah, let's keep the handling up.
sorry, cleaning up my notes a little, but I assume because of the previous, press conversation about when Yoshi P brought this up, there was a discussion with Nomura and Kitase about the term JRPG. That's coming back into the discourse. As you might expect, there's no universal answer to the question. Nomura definitely talked about how in the past he felt like it was a little discriminatory, and he felt like he was being boxed in. I think if anybody is going to talk about feeling like pigeonholed by the press, it's Tetsuya Nomura,
Oh yeah.
who gets a lot of shit for absolutely no reason. Like, he's a character designer first, and then he got promoted to like character writing and directing games. But also a lot of his story beats were actually stuff you liked in Final Fantasy VII. But I can understand him. On the other hand, Kitase kind of went the other way with it, where a couple people said where he was like, actually, I think it can be kind of nice and interesting because it implies, especially since there's so much development in the West, that there is a special quality, a kind of unique taste about games that are made in Japan still. Which is always how I heard it. I've seen people saying that, phrasing it as either JRPG started derogatory or was always derogatory. That one reads a little weird to me because by the time I heard that term, I definitely feel like it was already partially taken back. Like, some people would still do use JRPG as dismissive. See the flack that every single Nintendo Direct gets whenever they show anything vaguely resembling an RPG. But, like, at the same time, I also, like, heard it and utilized the term because I like JRPGs. I'm not afraid to admit that I am a weeb and that I am taking that word back. I am not discouraged by the weeb. That is a thing I will embrace. I, as a kid, and even now today, really like a lot of cultural stuff that comes out of Japan because they do have a slightly unique feel. Like there was something that was not necessarily emulated in like Western cartoons, especially Western action cartoons, which are really like market-wise very small these days. There is a very limited number of them. Though Castlevania, the new series, I should say, of Castlevania comes out soon. I wonder if I can catch all of the first animated series before Nocturne comes out. Maybe, because some of those seasons are short. But like, there was something unique about the presentation and the themes of like anime and Japanese games that hit a little different than the Western stuff I was exposed to as a kid, and it stuck with me a lot more. Let's say that. Though certainly I think that there were still obviously Western properties that were very impactful on me. It's just that stylistically they're a lot less accessible as an adult for some unknown reason. Like, I can talk about how Courage the Cowardly Dog was pretty cool. I haven't watched that original Teen Titans series. Instead, they decided that making Teen Titans Go is a lot cheaper and more accessible to children. I remember shit like Codename Kid Next Door, which was so weird and off the wall. And there are new weird off the wall series, but it doesn't hit the same. So yeah, like I have not been afraid to say that some games are JRPGs and that I have liked them for it. Though I will say honestly, having played 16, Your Adventure Billy Mandy, another very weird off the wall series. Appreciate that one as well. Destroy us all! Destroy us all! And he just does that joke for like 5 minutes. Yeah, that's one thing you can say. Cartoon Network and even different studio shows were willing to do crossovers and shit back in the day in their own like channel, and that some of those were wild and don't make any goddamn sense. But like having played Final Fantasy 16, honestly, like plot-wise, 16 is very much a Final Fantasy game, and I will brook no argument about that. It does the Final Fantasy like style of arcs and characters very well. Actually, like game composition and mechanics wise, they went way more in on the action part of an action RPG than they did a lot of stylistic trappings you associate with JRPGs. And I think this was intentional. They said that they were trying to make 16 more accessible to a Western audience, more broad appeal, get more people in, and obviously I think that worked to some respect. It was a PS5 exclusive that sold a lot of copies for that slot in its first, little while, right?
Right.
It's done well enough to confirm we have, I believe they may have said that there are multiple DLC coming to 16, and that the PC port is actively being worked on, so it's not like they're, Square's putting out to pasture or anything, despite what some misleading headlines may try and tell you. But I think it leaned way more on that action side, and I know that you and I and several other people, like, not necessarily required, but would not have minded if it went a little deeper on the RPG mechanics. Like, it could have cut that a little closer. I think the design goal was not to do that, but I would have certainly had, plenty of enjoyment, that would have been heightened by such mechanics and mechanisms.
That's what I need down somewhere.
I do think that the 7 remake timeline is a little closer to the JRPG trappings. They are sticking to their guns about, bajillions of mini games and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Though, I would like to say I appreciate that the 7 remake crew is not. They are not inserting mini games without care. This is a story I have heard, and I believe that some of you may recall this. There's a chapter, and I'll point it out when we actually get to streaming it before too long, probably in the next month or so, depending. But there is a moment where you're just minding your own business, and Cloud walks by a very highly detailed and well-modeled basketball court. And the developers have said they originally planned there to be a basketball minigame there. They were going to have Cloud shoot hoops. But that basketball court is during a nighttime segment in a suburban area in Midgar when you are supposed to be laying low, right?
Right.
So the developers were like, oh, wait, this is going to be totally nonsensical if we have Cloud, loudly slamming backboards in the middle of the night, right? That will be weird. So they cut it. I don't know what phase they cut development, but we'll see. I hope that the minigame does make it back into Rebirth somehow when it makes more sense. So, that is definitely a cliche that has been levied at some of these games where they do have these mini games that are very important to maximizing, acquiring everybody's ultimate limit break or ultimate weapon. You often have to do weird mini games or sides, or you will unlock the double secret last fishing area to catch that fish, which is actually, the ultimate weapon right before the final boss, or other weird shit like that. Final Fantasy is not alone in this aspect of it. And that has sometimes been a little weird to audiences. We've kind of dropped the phrase ludonarrative dissonance out of the lexicon, but that is actually, I think, a case of it where you're like, oh shit, we have to save the world. Man, I could really go for a fish right now. And it sounds like the Rebirth team and the remake team are integrating those minigames a lot better. Gameplay-wise, I've seen some people on Twitter being like, oh, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to be a return to form. It's going to show them that they shouldn't have gone in the Final Fantasy 16 direction. And I'm like, have you played the remake? Yes, remake is very strategic and tactical, but it is still very much action-y. Even if you turn on the turn-based type mode, it still has active elements. You have to dodge, roll, and guard and shit. Well, rip that guy. Once again, I suspect this man will get got in the face many times. Ooh, sorry, stream did a little jump there. Everybody on the floor. How do you walk the dinosaur? But yeah, like the remake gameplay is very much action oriented, and I would argue that Rebirth is only going more that way with like these synergy attacks and stuff you can do, right? Where
Right.
like your characters have sync up combos they can do that are like really sick and flashy, and yeah, they may not necessarily require a lot of active inputs, but like it's still like you're doing shit in the 3D world and doing all these big flashy moves. Like we're staying grounded in the action zone, even if we are making sure to like hearken to the original 7 stuff. If you want, high quality, straight up turn based gameplay, Sea of Stars exists. Obviously, P3R is coming out. That's Persona games are still fully turn based. Also, hey, to put a little pin for later, maybe. In January of next year, Like a Dragon 8 Infinite Wealth comes out. That's still turn-based.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you may balk because you're like, wait, but that's a Yakuza game. You trying to tell me that's some kind of turn-based ass RPG? Yes. I haven't played 7 yet, but I believe they pulled it off pretty well. But like 8 continues that trend. They are sticking with that mechanic. If you are one of those people who are like, man, but I missed the action gameplay, there's still games for you. Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, is coming out soon.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I think I do have 7 left.
That's still going to be action focused. And yeah, and as Ax is saying in chat right now, from the trailers and the press release they've done for Infinite Wealth, they are improving mechanics. Like you can now like freely reposition on your turn and stuff. But like that's good turn-based games that are being made. So like yeah, I don't know. Square's probably still going to make some turn-based games, but they're going to be different. Hey, you want the ultimate turn-based game? Buy the Final Fantasy XIV TTRPG.
I mean, Square has turn-based games out there just because they're not, the fucking hugest that...
Actually, yeah. I was actually quite surprised by how much press they put on this, but there was also a stage show and stream for where Saga is.
Mm-hmm.
Like talking about that franchise, like they're keeping up on their home fires,
It's like not every Fringo like game is going to be a big AAA release. Like Triangle Strategy came out, Diofield Chronicles came out. There's the Advance War. Actually, I don't think Advance Wars is. Square.
It's Advance Wars is that's Nintendo because that's like
Nintendo.
their modern version, but still that's like. If you're scratching that tactical RPG itch, that is, Fire Emblem, but with tanks.
Yeah, there's still, like, Bravely Default, Octopath Traveler, hecking...
Live Alive.
Yeah, Live Alive. Like, there's plenty of games out in that space.
Also, hey, they came out with pixel remasters of Final Fantasies 1 through 6 this year. So you have 6 Final Fantasies, which are... those are remastered. They have done touch-ups to those games. So that is not just straight up selling you your old games again. Like not only graphical revamps, like actually like there are some mechanics and boss fights they've rebalanced. Like so those are not nothing. That's a lot of hours of content if you want your retro on.
Yeah. People who complain about there not being turn-based RPGs out there are people who are not looking. Like
hell, I have my own, not interested in the game, but Honkai Star Rail, very big right now. Hoyoverse does a lot of pushing. That's turn-based. And coming out to next-gen consoles soon, and it's already on old-gen and PC and stuff. So, like, that, yeah. There you go. There's a turn-based RPG that I assume, anyway, Hoyoverse wants you to play forever.
Forever. Please spend money on this game.
Yes, the content is there. It's just that we talked about this a lot with 16, and I don't necessarily want to, like, relitigate it again, but people have a impression of what a Final Fantasy game is, and that includes it being turn-based, even though Final Fantasy games have interpreted being turn-based a lot of different ways over the 16 total titles plus extras, right? So yeah,
where's my sprinkler thing?
And they've been experimenting with action gameplay a long time. Like Square made Vagrant Story on the PS1.
Yeah, there's been action RPGs since the SNES, like the OG Star Ocean, which was done by Enix, by the way. So I'll fucking still count it in there. And Terranigma.
Yeah, I mean, as Square Enix, they're still making Star Ocean games, which are also, I believe, doing pretty well.
Yeah, people are excited for Second Story R coming out this November. Also making me scream at my wallet. Nope, don't shoot me. Yeah, no, the idea of like cooldown based, or just freeform comment has been a long running thing. But people just see people going one at a time and go turn based.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to interpret turn-based. Like, obviously, like I said, I promoted Sea of Stars earlier, but Sea of Stars is a game that is very strictly turn-based.
Yes.
But does have active inputs. Like Super Mario RPG, which, by the way, is another thing that's being remastered, and that's a Nintendo Square collab. So, keep that there.
Box cutter.
Also, I double checked this, but yeah, credits to like first ever action RPGs is pretty broad. But there's like, one of the basically action RPGs have existed since 1984. There's some debate whether it was Hydlide or Dragon Slayer. Which Dragon Slayer was published by Square, though Nihon Falcom did most of the work there. But they published it for the MSX.
Don't touch that.
And Hydlide was by T&E Soft, also Japanese.
Catch.
Like, there's a lot of old stuff in there, and 7, the original 7 is like that's the full blown ATB bars introduction, which is again not turn based, but also you can set that to different modes.
That gun just went flying across the fucking screen. Son of a bitch.
For it. Woo! Yeah, that was great. Ooh, we got some fun physics in this game. All right, that must be that Unreal working. Love it when you can get some action like that. But yeah, no.
Catch.
The actual original FF7. If you haven't played it in a while, the way the ATB system worked is, you have your choice of settings. You can set it to active or wait. If you set it to active, the game is technically real time. While you do have to wait to act until your ATB bar charges up, the game does not stop when you have the menus open. So enemies will still execute attacks while you're fiddling with your menus. If you have it set to wait, everybody else's ATB bars don't progress, and they are not activated while you're in menus.
I call that cooldown. Personally, it's more like cool up.
That is definitely in that sphere, because it's like your limiter is in your ATB bar ticking up. It is not a strict like turn-based initiative system. It's like, okay, the ATB bar fills up. All right, you go, but other people can go in there.
Are we done yet? Oh, we are done. Let's go. Whee!
The first couple are very strictly. Also, saying 11. Is 11 like 11's another MMO. I don't know if that's turn-based. Wouldn't that be based on cooldowns? I don't know much about 11's mechanics.
I thought, wasn't 10 too turn-based?
I'm pretty sure the 10 series, is still in there. 13 went back to the ATB style after 12, which was what they called active dimension battle, I think, which was just ATB, but there's no random encounters, You're just, different actions have different bars.
Oh, I know people are going to hate it, but Final Fantasy Mystic Quest was turn-based. I saw people, I don't know why, it was random. I saw an article about people talking about how shit Final Fantasy Mystic Quest was, and I, as always, my jimmies got rusted a little bit. Wait, where am I?
Final Fantasy Mystic Quest's strongest soldier.
I am. I enjoyed that game. Listen, it was my first Final Fantasy and the first one that I beat. in a time when I didn't understand RPGs and had no idea what that idea was I was doing. So yes, Final Fantasy Mystic Quest did its intended purpose. Me, being a Westerner boy who did not know JRPGs, found an easy enough JRPG for me to get into and play, endearing me to the series.
It did its job.
Yes. In a realm that maybe didn't fully understand it, and maybe, wasn't that great at playing, hard-ass Japanese games. I know I've punched this horse before, but people try to sell them why am I graying out? Weird. People try to upsell how they were like the bestest back in the day when they were not.
A lot of these games are actually quite short if you know what you're doing, and are predicated on you not knowing what you're doing. Like, I was actually like very surprised when because we were talking about like how fucking long Hollow Knight is taking us. That is a game that is girthy. Obviously, that is enhanced because Lucky has the Void Edition with all the DLC. But that game is big. It has a lot of shit. Technically, we could have beaten it already, like many streams ago, and gotten a bad ending. But anyway, like that's even then, that game is still pretty chunky. I've looked up like to compare to one of the classics of Metroidvania games, right? How long does Castlevania Symphony of the Night take to beat? And people are like 8 to 12 hours, and I was like, damn, that seems short. And then my brain went, oh, right. I first played that game, while still obviously having access to the internet. I first played that game, when I was like in my like probably like late teens, because I think I like downloaded the PS1 Classics version on like PS3,
Mm-hmm.
Like I played that somewhere in my teenage years, and while I did have access to Game Facts, it was it was a little different. I was not the technology wizard, I didn't have a smartphone in my pocket if I really needed to go fast, right? So now that now that we're like talking about streaming it, I'm like, yeah, I could probably do it in the 8 to 12 hours. I'll have probably like a walkthrough open so I can just double check I'm going in the right direction and don't get lost, because the map is fairly sizable, but like that's because I have the pre-knowledge. Lots of games are very fast and easy to beat if you understand what's going on. And before Game Facts destroyed this industry, probably, game guides used to be a big aftermarket thing.
More than that to take you down. Just don't let your guard down. They'll be back. That's one.
Let me double check. Super Metroid, how long to beat? First time players, about 10 hours. Yeah. Experienced players can get through it in under 3 hours.
Plenty of cash already, but more never hurts.
Though, of course, speedrunners can do some fucking bullshit.
Oh,
But
yeah.
8 to 10 hours on Super Metroid. Sounds about right. So, like, yeah. When you understand what you're doing, a lot of these games are not super big. Some of them, obviously, are designed to be hard so that you have to keep playing them, either because they were originally arcade machines, which are designed to take your money.
Slurp that shit up.
Like, obviously, I think there are things to be said about gacha gaming practices, I guess, and like how that there are some forms of gacha games which are like really annoying and like can be predatory, and certainly like the aesthetics. But like, video games have always had that undercurrent of like keep feeding quarters into the quarter machine. Spend quarters.
Oh man, I remember back in the 64 era when I had Majora's Mask, they had a collectible in every dungeon to collect the Great Fairies pieces. They looked fucking weird as fuck too, by the way. Let me tell you, Jesus.
Yeah.
I remember I couldn't figure that shit out as a kid, so I remember this. For some odd fucking reason, my local library had the fucking strategy guide for it, and I didn't want to fuck with just checking it out constantly. So I would go and photocopy the fucking pages I need with all the Great Fairy fragment locations and just take that home. Had to pay like $0.10 per fucking page. Ugh. Back when I was playing games like Mystic Quest back on the SNES, I didn't have that kind of connection. That was fucking... God, that was like... that was early, mid-90s. Internet was a thing, but I don't know if people... Like, I don't know if people were going whole hog on, like, throwing up every single piece of information they had on there. Like, God. Like, I'm just thinking about it. Like, I really do not know where people get on their fucking high horse about this thing. Remember, we're the fucking country that when Mega Man X came out, we had to have a fucking quote-unquote normal mode put in the fucking game so we could, like, so it was accessible enough to people.
Yeah, that happened several times.
Yeah.
I've talked about this. I have, the Super Mario All-Stars for the SNES cart, which included the Lost Levels, the original Super Mario 2, because Super Mario 2, as we got it, wasn't even Super Mario 2. That was Doki Doki Panic, right?
Yeah.
Nintendo of America rebranded an entire game to be the Mario sequel because the actual sequel to Mario they thought would be too fucking hard for American. And honestly, I think it was. I've beaten the original Super Mario Bros. I've actually done that. I've gone all 8 worlds, baby. I don't remember if I've beaten Lost Levels. Because Lost Levels is hard. There's some fucking horseshit in that one. You know? So, like, yeah, no. I think that I don't know if it is exactly flipped per se, but the people who like games for being hard and are interested in them, like, that has become more prevalent as a subset. And now people bitch about games being too casual at some points. But, like, like, because of Soulsborne games, though, remember, those are originally Japanese. This is a funny discussion I saw with somebody where, like, somebody was trying to say, like, oh, Dark Souls isn't a JRPG. You're wrong. I mean, it does lean more action than not, but, like, it's a Japanese RPG that has that Japanese trope of being very, very Western in a Japanese way, for lack of a better term, right?
I mean, you beat things, get experience, level up, increase your stats.
And those stats are very important. Like, while the mechanics are active, they are very mechanical.
Well, I guess some people could, like, kind of understand it because, like I said, they are usually third person and stuff, so people might, like, look at it and think it's like, oh, it's kind of like, they shouldn't, but it's kind of like, like Elden Ring, or what are some other big, or Fable, maybe. But
there were some Western third-person RPGs that were also active. Though I feel like a lot of, like, if you want to say, like, computer RPGs or Western RPGs, a lot of those have a very like old-school style. Like a lot of the D&D based ones, you have like the little like lemmings where all your guys are in a little circle and you like scooch them forward. The original Fallouts were kind of like that too,
Mm-hmm.
And then, obviously, I think the other big thing that was a hallmark of what we called Western RPGs is the first-person immersive sim aspect. That's still very Western, and still alive to this day, obviously, with, Starfield, Cyberpunk, Skyrim obviously being everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me of a side conversation about Starfield I might bring up later. But, like, yeah. But no. Dark Souls is a Japanese RPG. If you, like... You can't cut it out of the RPG discussion. You just don't want to call it, if you don't want to call it a JRPG, you just don't want to call it a JRPG because there's not, like, normal cute anime women in it, or, like, there's not, like, 9 million mini games, and it's, like, the narrative tropes usually trend towards the darker and more obscure in those games, but, like, I mean, if you want to talk about being fucking hard, again, Nintendo hard, look, you just went through that. It still happens, But yeah, like...
Oh, this is semi-auto, huh?
Like, immersive sims is another weird one that's kind of loaded, because basically the way I understand immersive sim, which is almost not a genre anymore, but, like, it's an FPS-styled interface, but an RPG-styled, like... What do I call it? Outer face? I guess back end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the original Deus Ex is an immersive sim. It puts you in first person, it puts you in the world, it has a lot of, like, dialogue boxes you be clicking. And, there's a lot of dumb shit you can do for no reason. Like, you can ask people for a fucking soda all the time and drink them. Doesn't do anything, really. The more modern Deus Exes had a couple of those, too, but they were and I think they were still in the aspect that they trying to make things a little more relevant. I think Cyberpunk is also supposed to be in that respect of an RPG, which is a little different than, say, Witcher.
Hmm.
Never played a Witcher game. Those are active though, right?
I couldn't
They-
tell
they-
you. Witcher
probably
1
ask
was
the chat
a
more here.
yeah.
Decide how you want to do this. Beat the security gate and quietly gain access to the vault, or go in guns blazing and burn your way through the roof. It's your call.
Here we go for no rest for the wicked for the umpteenth time.
But hey,
Where's my cage for the elephant?
for the wicked.
Nice.
But
There's a lot. There's a lot to the discussion.
there is a lot.
Like I said, I trend towards what Kitase said, where like I do think that a lot of games coming out of Japan do have their they have their own media they're basing stuff off of. They have their own representation of stuff. But also I feel like they've they have more. The definitions have gotten loosier and goosier as time goes on, and like. One, media gets more accessible.
Mhm.
I know obviously people will complain about like preservation and stuff, and that is something we do need to keep an eyeball on of like how media can get kind of like expunged or boxed out. But like in general, it's a lot easier for people to be aware of old media stuff, so that you can track some of these things and be aware of stuff. And also, as we've gotten more global and more connected, it is easier and easier to what did I say? I guess to like learn your lessons and integrate like broader perspectives, right? This is something talking about the comeback of Final Fantasy 14. Like Yoshi P spearheaded that by like being like, okay, if we're gonna make a good MMO, we need to look at what competitors are doing and learn from them. Here, check out World of Warcraft. And that's obviously not a universal like 1-to-1, but like because obviously like this happens, or the reverse happens to Western developers too. We've talked before about how Anthem probably failed because BioWare was not willing to learn from Destiny at all, right?
Right.
Actively BioWare and EA were like, don't look at the competition, do your own thing.
Alright, I fucked this up twice before because I always killed the guy back here, but I'm gonna wait till he comes over here and then cap him. Because I think he should walk over here.
Alright. I, once again, need to scoot away for a sec. I'll be back. I'll leave Lucky to perfect his heist here.
I am gonna perfect this heist. I'm gonna get it.
Because I do still got a couple of other things on my list to mention. So I'm going to pause the recording and be back in a sec.
Check out the camera.
Oh, the camera rotates now. Well, that's no good. That explains some shit.
Hey, there's a guard.
Hey, God, what you doing? You done fucked up. Oh, wait, can I? Oh. Well, that was a kill.
Hello, is this thing on? Hello, fucking piece of shit. Oh. Now, yeah, we're good here.
3 till death. Okay, cool. Alright, so I'll just dump that body there. 3 radios until alarm. I did not know we can do takedowns, but now we can do takedowns. That is good to know. Alright, do we got a nerd? Oh, we do got a nerd walking around in there. I need him to not look at me. Stay down.
There's a safe deposit box in this bank belonging to an executive from the Wixia Corporation. If you're near an
Trying to get my stealth on. Alright, should be safe for now, so let's... Oh, maybe not. Does he not? Okay.
So then I got home and she's all over the place with, hello? What? Is this dispatch? I thought you was somebody else. Sorry about, yeah, no, nothing. We're good here. Yeah, this is cool.
Thank you, Chains. I fucked up! I killed the civilians! No! I meant to throw my fucking body! Oh, hey. Hi. Oh my god. Oh, people are trying to probably make a run for it.
Listen up. This is a goddamn robbery.
Oh, I definitely need to fucking tie people up faster perk here. This is some bullshit. Alrighty. Alrighty. I don't think I got 7 hostages. Oh, hey, you're still here. Hi. Well, I don't want people to fucking... Let's see if I got 5 floating around here. Oh, nope, you died. I'm sorry, buddy. That was a good old mistake. I need to figure out a different button for my goddamn... Oh, hey, I'll have just enough. Is it up top? Looks like it's up top.
You can get the thermite to burn faster if you add more bags to the fire. Just don't fucking overdo it.
I'm gonna fucking overdo it. It's fucking overdo it time.
Place the thermite in the hallway above the vault.
Oh, okay. That was the first floor. I thought that was the second floor. I'm dumb. Ah, gravity wins again. Guys, help. I gotta be more careful about that.
Box inbound. Stay on your toes.
Oh, hey, there's a dude up here. How you doing? You are now friend. Where are you going? All right. Oh, fuck. I forgot I have to ignite this shit. Bernie, baby. How you doing there, Chief?
Watch the hostages. Rescue units have arrived.
My friend, you're gonna help me here. Hey, how's it going?
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. My stomach has been bothering me a little.
All right, let's see. Do we got any more? We got one up top, I think.
Lucky still doing crimes though, so everything is just fine.
I messed up my I messed up my stealth again because as always I accidentally threw a grenade.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So
That's all right.
slightly nettled. It's going so good too.
Yeah.
And then I fell from the second story down to the first. I mean the third story down to the first story, and that broke my shins there for a minute.
I'm gonna say, ow, oof, your bones.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I probably don't want this to drag on too long, because like I said, my stomach has been bothering me a little off and on today. Ugh. But we're back. And probably the next one to talk about, I mentioned it earlier, but there's a lot there to circle around. Because it is, I think, officially kicking off the RPG block currently. Like a Dragon 8 Infinite Wealth got a lot of preview as well. RGG Studios had, a big press block and a lot of action there. In general, Sega and Atlas, I mean, obviously, it's Tokyo Game Show. They're going to be there. But specifically, like, they had a pretty big showing over there. There was a few new details and some new trailers about Persona 3, which are going pretty well. Probably the biggest part of it, I think, was just, a lot of people were like, okay, so they're saying there won't be, portable or FES content in the game. What do they mean by that? Well, mostly just there won't be the answer. I think I said that before. That's what I assumed it was. But, like, they literally showed Elizabeth Dates in the new trailer.
I'm an idiot.
She's going to leave the Velvet Room and cause problems on purpose.
As they do.
So that's solid. They've talked about some, new mechanics and stuff, showing off that their character models are really gorgeous. The VA team is doing a lot of work, which is great. But in general, P3 Reloaded is still P3 Reloaded. That's we're not really learning a lot of new stuff here. I think they've got they've sketched out a couple of new mechanics, but mostly, in place. They did say that kind of to make up for the fact that the way that the original P3 had its social links built, you didn't necessarily get to hang out with your bros as much. Your broskies will have bro events, where you can hang out with them. Not necessarily the full social link mechanics, because obviously a lot of characters are already assigned to various arcana and stuff, but there will be a way to get more character time with your male members of Cease without necessarily getting into full social link territory, which is a nice bridge, and arguably something that even technically directly P3P did not solve, because it just put all the social links with the guys in the female protagonist chapter, so, and never the selves shall meet, so they're doing stuff. That's good, but Ryuga Gotoku Studio fucking slam jamming it. They had a big long presser, and several new trailers dropped. And obviously, I'm not all caught up on my Yakuza lore. This means that I don't have to worry about when exactly 8 comes out, because I feel like in this context, probably need to play 7 first. Not need, but 1-7 does seem like they pitch it as yet another soft reboot of the franchise, so, a lot of intro-level stuff. But also seems like, there's going to be some direct follow-up with What's Up with Ichiban and stuff there that I probably want to, catch up on. So, I'm, not in a rush, but it does seem like they're doing a lot of good, interesting stuff. Working on a few things. They are bringing back the turn-based effect. They are as I don't know another series like Yakuza, like a Dragon, that hits this same level of these games go from like death, literal life or death serious, Japanese crime drama to, Kiryu has to help not Michael Jackson film thriller. Like, I genuinely don't know franchises that do that swing quite as much or quite as well. I think not the exact details, but I think I know enough about the previous games to kind of generally follow Kiryu's arc.
Oh, I think that's why.
But yeah, like they do this stuff so well. So like I said, you've got like high level shit, like the story trailer shows like Ichiban going back to like normal ass salaryman life. He's got his hair pulled back. He looks like a functional member of society. Not that I dislike how Ichiban looks from what I've seen of 7, and he goes back to that look, but like he does kind of go for like a scruffy puffball look,
Mm-hmm.
Like, so he's got a clean cut look, and then it all falls apart because of some evil VTuber stuff. There's some kind of like Yakuza drama VTuber thing they're doing. No idea what's going on with that one. I'm sure that'll be like a deep seated revelation, but like, it's funny. And he gets, dragged in to go find his mother in Hawaii. So, like, Hawaii is a big feature of this game. Honolulu City specifically is what I think they said where it is. And it's looking pretty good. Like, not necessarily a Wonder One Hawaiian Vacation Simulator. God damn, Cloaker. Sorry, I just saw him, like, fly out of that room at full speed, eat, like, 3 or 4 5.56, and still, flip kick your ass. Video game things. But, like, they've talked about how you can, get access to different, jobs and classes to unlock, including, apparently, like, surf stuff. There's a fuck ton of mini-games, as always. There are, mechanical improvements. It looks like they've got, through their summoning system, a fuck ton of cameos for old favorite characters who we won't write back into the game for reasons. Some of which are good, and some of which are just, I think they don't know what to do with the writing.
All right. Now we wait.
I saw in one of the trailers, there's like, one of your summons is, Sayama from Yakuza 2 dressed in like a Kill Bill Bruce Lee outfit with the wooden sword, which is, it's her introductory scene. I have seen that. And it's like, okay, cool, but like we haven't heard from her since, I think, Yakuza 3?
Yeah.
You're not going to go anywhere with that one? Okay.
She is...
And I think genuinely, I'm pretty sure it's because they're like, and Kiryu himself says this in the story trailer. I think it's just because the writers and Kiryu himself can't picture him like settling down.
No. He lost his one true love. He can never get over it. Never.
Well, I do definitely think, if I remember, like, having seen some people do some Yakuza Kiwami 2 playthroughs, that it does feel kind of like the conclusion to 2 is, like, yes, he develops feelings for Kaoru, but also, like, at certain points, she's like, no, Kiryu, I don't want you to fight that guy. For reasons. I don't necessarily want to spoil the ending of Yakuza 2 out of nowhere. I know the game's like 1,000,000 years old, but, like...
Cloaker, why?
Hold on, I have to wait for the... It is a Cloaker. That guy did a fucking, like... What do I want to call that? Like a rope-a-dope. He, like, dodged out from behind the dozer to get you. God, what a Chad. I'm glad the Cloaker memes are still alive. But, like I said, Kiryu seems attached to her in Yakuza 2, but also, like, not enough that he is gonna stop ripping off his shirt and punching dudes. Even when he's shot full of bullets, because that's how every Yakuza game ends. Eat a couple of extra bullets. Breakfast.
All right, this time I'm gonna try and go back for a little bit extra.
They have the funny cameos, the writing. Again, this is one of those things where I'm like, I don't know if this counts as a
Cloaker
spoiler. They are straight up saying it in the trailers, where like, Kiryu is like, "Hey, BT Dubs got cancer. Which I love some of the memes I have seen where like, gee, I wonder how Kiryu got cancer. Cuts to, 7 games and some guidance worth of smoking cigarettes. The man has been smoking since the 80s. Like,
There's the vault. Fuck.
And also hitting back the whiskey. Like, I'm not shocked.
All right, one last bag.
Obviously, you would assume that the bullets, bombs, and knives and swords would get Kiryu first, but like, I'm not shocked having those things not killed him. That his unhealthy living is catching up with him. But yeah, so like there seems to be some interesting character drama there with his stuff. They did actually show a little bit of Majima in the trailers of him, also getting older.
Oh fuck, we gotta get the ballers down again.
But there's at least it seems like they're. I don't know if they're pushing for like a conclusion to any character arcs here or not. I guess we'll see. But it does kind of seem like they're aiming 8 for being like, we're getting all the band back together. Like, from what I understand, while 7 did have a lot of, cameos, references, and obvious, like, continuing meta plot, it was also kind of like a soft reboot, right? It's they did the same thing that, Resident Evil 7 did, where they unified the Western and Eastern titles, Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon, in both markets, so they could, bring that together because... while it has always been branded as Yakuza, presumably because they were trying to cash in on that, Mafia, Grand Theft Auto type money, it's always been Like a Dragon in the East. Which arguably makes more sense because I hear a lot of jokes out of the Western fandom about how, despite being called Yakuza, most of the plots of those games are about getting kicked out of the Yakuza.
I mean, it's a Yakuza crime thriller because you're still usually dealing with Yakuza politics and groups and stuff. It's just usually you're not directly affiliated with them.
But yeah, like it's still, you get, like I said, you hear these jokes, and I think it makes more sense when in the original context the games are supposed to be,
Why?
Like a Dragon, which is obviously a reference to, Okay, all right, yes, I'm very confused by that. I was trying to follow along when you screamed in the preview. Did a cloaker drop down from the ceiling, kick you in the spine, and then get capped by your buddies?
Yes.
God. You gotta have better self-preservation, cloaker.
Just trying to get all these save deposit boxes before we leave.
But yeah, so like I said, I don't know if they're going for like a wrap-up here. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I know they've tried to, like, switch away from him a couple of times. I don't know if, like, they've got the guts to kill Kiryu.
At some point, they're gonna have to, or he's gonna have to fucking retire. They're fucking Gokuing this kid. This guy. I don't know why I said kid. That was wrong of me.
Well, it's funny you say that, because we've seen basically his entire life from, like, being a young adult to being not, I don't want to say like super old, but being an old man. Like, actually, hold on. Let me actually check. He has to have a birthday.
Okay.
Kazuma Kiryu.
Alrighty. Alright, got more money.
So canonically, Kazuma Kiryu was born on June 17th, 1968.
Yeah, he's like in his 60s. We have to stop at some point.
Yeah, if we take that into account, that means that assuming the game is set in 2024 when it comes out, he will be 56. And that is, again, assuming that we are doing, like, literal 1-to-1 years. That is also assuming that this date is correct. But yeah, like, the man is fairly old. I mean, semi-spoilers, I guess, but, like, not going into detail. But, like, the series has been going on so long that, you meet Haruka as, you know, a child, and by the time you get to Yakuza 6, she is an adult, right? Like, enough real time passed that, like, that actually happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, he's been around a while. Like you said, he needs to retire. He can actually, I mean, honestly, I don't know all the exact details of all the stories they've been through 7 games and Gaiden games and stuff, but like, the only way I can imagine Kiryu retiring is like he should go back to like run a bar in Kamurocho. Like he should be the wise old guy at the bar you tell your story to, and if you try to fuck with the bar, he obliterates you. You roll up into his club and you try to start some shit. Tiger drop. But yeah, like I said, I don't know if we're at the point where, like, because he is so iconic, they're gonna get it's like actually killing Goro Majima. Can you do that? I don't think you can.
Impossible.
Also, I genuinely don't think hell can hold him. But you know, I feel like they are setting up through 7 and 8 for a baton pass.
Well, yeah, that's what Ichiban was supposed to be. He was supposed to be like the new face, and from what I understand, most people do like him. They think he's.
From what I've seen of clips, he seems likable. You know,
yeah,
he's got a very different vibe from Kiryu.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like it's the vibe, you know. It's like people are just so used to Kiryu's just stoic bad attitude that they look at Ichiban but while he does have his moments of seriousness, he seems a lot more. Oh, what's the word I want to say? He seems more comedic at times, I guess.
Yeah, his like I said before, I don't know another series that is like Yakuza with these like huge ups and downs of like comedic to serious. A lot of the earlier games especially worked because Kazuma Kiryu is the ultimate straight man. Despite there being some times we have doubted his straightness in that respect. But like, no matter what happens, Kiryu is going to like probably deadpan it. Like the best response you're gonna get from him is just a what? Nani?
Or you might get a
Eh? So, you know, is that so? Like, you got to do a lot to get Kazuma Kiryu emotionally fired up, you know? And even then, him being emotionally fired up is like maybe a little like quietly sad, unless he's singing karaoke. Then he gets very sad. Or he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like, that's it. Ichiban seems a lot more animated, I think is a good word for it.
yeah.
Like, he's got a lot more emotional range, and he's not afraid to show it. This means that he gets in on the comedy bits a little more, it seems like. But also, you know, he can still hit those emotional highs of, like, you know, when he's down to clown, he's getting serious. It's on like Donkey Kong kind of a thing. And yeah, like we said earlier, it's a different vibe. And I guess they just feel like, I guess especially given how popular he is, that like they're not quite ready to like remove the Kiryu vibes. But they have not necessarily set up a Kiryu 2.0 character. But yeah, and you know, we'll see. Like I said, I'm not gonna get to the game right when it comes out, but it is kicking off our RPG season, which is going to be hectic. It's, you know, Like a Dragon 8 is late January. Then there's gonna be P3R is gonna be early February. Like, I think they're literally like a couple weeks apart. Let me see. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is the 26th, yeah. And then Reload is February 2nd. So, yes, very close. And then Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is February 29th, the Leap Day. Very funny. And then Unicorn Overlord is March 8th. So, like, got in there. Yes, the Capcom also has some announcements, and the Ace Attorney Apollo Justice trilogy is going to come out in January as well. That I don't need to worry about rushing to, though. we're still in the middle of Great Ace Attorney, so I do want to acquire that, but I can wait a little bit. Still, very nice of Capcom to get around to all those releases, and they did say, and I think this was the thing I said why the delay happened, but they have like 7 different language versions for all 3 game scripts, including brand new language dubs as well. So like for like the lines that are voiced, they have them in all available text languages as well, or audio. So that is a lot of extra legwork to do multiple language scripts. But yeah, like there's a lot going on there, and it's a real great time.
Oh, okay. I'm not a fan of this. Apparently, you gain levels by completing challenges, and you have to sometimes do very specific things in challenges to get them. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, that feels like it could be a little tricksy. I mean, I guess that does encourage you to like experiment and not just like grind it out, but also sometimes just being able to grind it out is just easier.
Well, yeah, here's the weird thing about it. Like, you have to use the weapons in order to fucking, level them, right? But if I want to increase my infamy level, that means I have to, like, constantly be switching weapons so I can get those challenges.
Yeah, so you can't work on gun XP and, like, UXP at the same time. It is a little awkward.
Yeah.
Right.
Excuse me. But, yeah, like, I am tapped for games, like, for a while. Like, just off the top of my head, we got Phantom Liberty coming up and Samurai Remnant just, kicking off the end of September here. Then in October, we're going to have Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2. I think there was a third game I was interested in. I don't remember what it was. Hang on.
Metal Gear Master Collection, probably.
Metal Gear Master Collection, thank you.
That's October, yeah.
That's October. November, we have Star Ocean Second Story R, and there was something, like, this is why I...
Like a Dragon Gaiden?
Gaiden,
November,
yes.
Yeah.
Like... And that's where I stopped, like, putting things into my fucking calendar, because I'm just, like, I was having a bit of a brain melt, being like, why?
Yeah. I think at the moment, unless somebody comes out of left field, December's still pretty open. Might have some catch-up time around the holidays. Somebody will probably try and tuck something in there, but I don't remember any, like, crazy breakout AAA December releases. Like, there's a few things that have been announced, but yeah. And then, obviously, 2024, like I said, January, February, March, all slammed up with excellent-looking games already.
Yeah, I get
It's
back.
gonna be a spicy year.
I gotta get back to filling this out, but yeah. 2 games next week. 2 games! I am hoping that my physical copy of Samurai Remnant is okay. I did order the special edition, but I had to order that through not Amazon, so as always, I have the Agita.
Yep.
Actually, what happens if I click this button?
It's always good to keep an eye on.
But I am hoping that it will... Oh, that's what it does. It will, be nice and smooth. Smooth, y'all. Smooth. But yeah, I gotta put in I gotta put in the rest of the games. Probably at least until... What's the latest one? I think, Unicorn Overlord, I think?
Yeah, for now. That's the March one.
Yeah. So I gotta get December, January, February, March up in there and, just scream at the calendar. But actually, I need to get up. I will be right back. Oof.
He'll be right back. Oh, shit. Sorry, I'm running out of juice here. We won't be going for too much longer. I want to double check if he's got anything to cover, and I got a couple to circle back around to. One of which I remember, but the other one I'm like, wait, hold on, had it. I need to wrap around. What was it? Oh, actually, yeah. I'll bring this up to you guys, chat. And I'll mention it to Lucky when he gets back. But one thing I have been thinking about lately, right? Like, because I was thinking about those Jim Ryan comments and stuff, and like talking about how, I mean, obviously he would not be a fan of how Xbox is doing like acquisitions and stuff, and I'm also kind of not a fan about Xbox's style of just acquire them. I think Phil Spencer is one of us. He is a gamer. He seems decently plugged in, and he doesn't seem like like there's no like secret email leaks of him being a huge bastard man. I do not like his strategy of acquisitions, and I don't like how it seems like right now he's out there in the press trying to be like, I'm just a little guy. You wouldn't hurt me on my birthday. I'm like, Phil Spencer, you're going to spend $69 billion to buy Activision Blizzard. I will never see $69 billion in my life. I think that's more money than some countries generate. Like, you're not a little guy, okay? You're not a little baby. You're not wearing glasses, all right? I understand that, like, Sony is very dominant, but, like, I don't know. It just feels a little, like, disingenuous when they're making all these big, big acquisition moves for loads of money. Because, like, again, remember, while, yes, this is Sony's own fault, the reason why Starfield, they bought Bethesda, period, was PlayStation was shopping around trying to get the, like, 6 to 12 months exclusive on PlayStation for it, right? And Phil Spencer said, that absolutely cannot happen. Let me buy Bethesda, and then, like, slashed all, Sony releases for games and stuff. And I mean, I guess they're probably going to make their money back, but, like, I don't know if that was worth it. Like, Starfield is, like, a game. It is actually a whole game. It seems pretty all right, but, like, I think Phil wanted them to buy Bethesda based on the thought that Starfield would be the next Skyrim. And I don't actually know if Starfield is the next Skyrim. Like, it's been many, many years, so this might be a deep reach, but, like, do you guys remember how fucking hype Skyrim was? Like,
Well,
there were a lot... Go ahead. Sorry.
No, finish your thought.
So I was just going to say, I remember there was a lot of hubbub about, like, Skyrim trailers. There were a lot of memes about Skyrim. There was a lot of, like, stuff in the ethos. There's still a lot of memes about Skyrim. To this day, chat, I cannot watch an internet video where a character, like, closes their eyes, goes to sleep, and wakes up. Without a worry, they're going to wake up in that fucking cart, and that guy's going to turn to him and say, so you're finally awake. Like, that's the kind of, like, long-term cultural impact Skyrim had. I don't know if I'm just not in those circles. I don't feel those vibes from Starfield.
Well, the thing about Starfield versus Skyrim is, you got to remember, Skyrim is not Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, I should say,
True.
is an established IP that has a bit of history and probably I want to say, one of the biggest Western RPG fandoms there is. I think the only one that can really compare is Fallout, but guess what? They're kind of in the same fucking bubble.
Yes, though old and new Fallout fans do fight sometimes.
Yeah, because
Bethesda owns both.
Yeah, because old Fallout was fucking isometric, baby. So, like, this is another thing that they were hyping, Starfield being, a new IP and all that stuff. So people don't necessarily have the automatic buy-in of that because they're like, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, deny it all you want. People hate new things. They really do. People would rather...
New IP is risky.
Yeah, people would rather... On a general basis, people would rather have the exact same thing they had before, just better. I guess this is why people spend like fucking like $2,000 like every 2 years. No, excuse me, every year on a new phone that only does marginally better than the one they had before.
People are indeed consumers.
So when creators, developers, and others try to do something usually wildly different than what they were doing before, people are just like, now hold on a fucking minute here. Like, that's all like, What is this? What is this? What are you doing with this? Where's my other thing? Where's my fucking Elder Scrolls 6? I will be fair, though. They teased Elder Scrolls 6 like a few years ago, and they're just now saying they're getting into production. I'm like, guys.
Well, yeah, was that right after? That might have been right after the Microsoft acquisition, but they announced Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 like back to back with like teaser trailers only. And like, I think this was off the back of like Fallout 76 had just came out and been a fucking stinker of a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, absolutely not. I think they've done enough development that the game is like functional now, but like, it did not read as a good idea when it launched.
No.
So like they were trying to like recoup value and get stock interest back up and be like, no, you can't let us go under yet. We're gonna make games you're gonna want to buy
Oh, God,
in 6
I hate
years.
the stock market so much.
Yeah, investment is and chasing investment and investor growth is a huge pain in the ass on a lot a industries.
Like, guys, I'm gonna be real. If a company has made a fucking weird ass decision suddenly and out of nowhere, it probably has to do with their stocks and or investors. Oh my God. But
yeah, so like I think that Xbox will probably see a much better return on investment with Elder Scrolls 6 specifically.
oh, definitely.
Though I don't know. I don't know if he's true to his word. Phil Spencer did say in an interview recently that like if they can't hit the growth they want for like Game Pass and stuff in like I think he said like 7 years, he said Xbox would leave the gaming sphere. And I'm just like, wow, okay. Bold claim. Bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off, right?
Or
but yeah,
fails. Oh man.
That would be weird though. Like that makes me wonder like what do you do in that case if you're just like fuck it, we're leaving the gaming sphere? Do you like cut loose Bethesda and Activision and all these guys, right? Cuz like
I mean, I'm pretty sure they would talk to Sony and Nintendo and be like, you know, maybe like sell some IPs, or they just hold on to them and just be like, no, these are ours forever, and just try to coast off whatever that.
If Xbox isn't in the first party, they would have to either start divesting themselves of these properties, these companies, these interests, or they would have to like stay in the third game sphere. Because like,
I mean,
the huge bulk of everything goes both ways. Like that would be. Xbox owns a lot of studios, and they're about to own a lot more. That would be like a huge economic nightmare of just like, yeah, fuck it. We're shutting everything.
I mean, they could go like as Sega did, because you like people like God. I don't know if people fucking. Some people might not. Sega used to make consoles.
It's true. They did.
Until the Dreamcast flop. The Dreamcast flopped.
Nope, you got it.
They were a fairly big contender. Like they had several of the Sega Genesis, the Sega Game Gear.
They were right on there in the space. Does what Nintendo don't and shit like that.
Yeah, you know, they had the Sega Saturn, Sega CD,
also the Sega Jaguar.
I always forget about the Jaguar. And they had some pretty strong IPs on there, like on their own. Like they had Sonic, they had Phantasy Star.
You may have heard of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Mm-hmm.
And technically, we talked about this, but like Sega now still backs, like they publish a fuck ton of really important IPs. They are partners with Atlus, producing things like Persona games. They're partners with Ryuga Kotoku, who produce Yakuza games. Like they're still a big deal, but they got out of the hardware market entirely.
Yeah, Loth, I got it to work. Get your ass on. We're probably going to be ending pretty soon. I need help.
Yeah, Lucky has bots, but it's like a pain in the butt.
Yeah, but so if Xbox decided, like, I think if Xbox got out of the console business, they could probably actually do something pretty good. This dude just walked right past me.
They would basically be like,
Don't worry, buddy. I ain't going anywhere for a while.
Whatchamacallit? It would basically be like Embracer Group and you know, Ubisoft. Arguably now they're a huge conglomerate of other studios that get in there.
Yeah, Axe, get in.
Yeah, Lucky has been talking about wanting some extra hands. And we are not going too much longer. Like I said, I'm running out of gas.
I'm gonna want to get some food, but after that, well, I'm gonna need some Heisters. But like, cause honestly, like, I'm gonna be real. The console war, I hate it. I really do. And I'm also gonna be double real. Microsoft doesn't need an Xbox. They just need to build for PC. That's all they really need to do. Like I hate the PC master race, controversy that constantly goes on about people talking about. But like I said, Xbox usually develops their shit for both Xbox and PC anyway. Just cut Xbox out of the picture, focus on game development on PC, and I think they would make
I don't
bank.
know if there is a market for it as much because there have been tries with like the Steambox and shit, but like just make the Microsoft Game Studios or Xbox Game Studios brand like just straight up make it a prepackaged PC. Like don't do a separate UI or interface for it, just bundle the hardware into a PC type package, stick it with the latest level of Windows. Somebody was in chat, yeah. I think Starlight mentioned earlier about like talking about the OS and stuff. They are still OS manufacturers. Like you could still get a platform and have a digital like storefront space and still make money and not need to worry about whatever this competition with like Sony and kind of Nintendo is right now. I feel like Sony a little bit less so, but like Xbox and Sony do sometimes treat Nintendo like their kid brother. And profit-wise, Nintendo is in that space, but also like they've still got a lot of like the cultural market share and brain space and shit,
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying. They're gonna. We are very confident a Switch 2 is coming out next year. Nintendo hasn't officially said anything yet, but like most everybody is on it. They are aware a updated Switch is coming. And like they've got a lot of franchise power and stuff like that they keep going into. And again, talking about like those emails that Phil wanted to buy Nintendo at some point.
We left him out the building. Ha 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 ha.
I think that was like just as Breath was hitting. So like yes, Nintendo was super in demand, but also that is like I can understand, right? The Switch is just coming out. It's pretty new. The Wii U, not good. Not great console. A lot of people were confused. There's a lot of weirdness with the hardware. The pad was an interesting idea, but was, underutilized and made you buy this expensive accessory. They were a little low. So I could see Microsoft being like, oh, I wonder if we can partner or acquire Nintendo and shit. And then, like, Nintendo is like, hello, we have a new console. That means new Zelda, new Mario and shit, new Fire Emblem. You're fucking here. We're great. We're doing fine. And honestly, while I am glad they are doing a hardware update to the Switch because we have been saying they fucking need it for a while, like the technology is so outdated that like I can't remember which one it is, or which manufacturer, if it was like Nvidia or not, but like whoever makes the graphics chips and shit for the Switch, like they have to keep factories open specially because the chips are so fucking old. Like literally no other user is using this hardware. It is Nvidia, yeah, okay. So yeah, like that Nvidia has to keep like old ass chip fabs online just so they can make Switch parts, okay? It's wild. So the hardware update is necessary, but like Nintendo's been riding very high this generation.
Yeah. What they can do with the technology they have is nothing short of kind of amazing.
Yeah, Nintendo, and that's always been their strong suit, and a thing that I think, like, this was something that was talked about in our Discord a while ago, a thing that other developers could learn from, like, Nintendo have always been the masters of doing a lot with a little. They have figured out some freakish shit with, like, compression and modeling assets and, like, how to make their games smaller and tighter, and they have often not given a fuck about hitting those graphical highs, and it has not ever mattered to their bottom line. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom was fucking 30 frames. Do you think anybody gave a single fuck? No. I'm not looking at the sales numbers, but I assume it did pretty well. I bet Nintendo made their fucking money back and then some.
What were you doing, buddy?
Yeah, they've had some help over the years, but yeah, like it's a thing. Like they definitely do that whole like, you know, necessity is the mother of invention type shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Sony would like it if developers did. They switched to SSDs, which can allow you to do a lot spicier optimization, and people just don't. And admittedly, I think like proper optimization on like PCs and stuff is still hard. That's why PC ports are still sometimes jank. It's because it's really hard because of the PC thing to like build a uniform frame of reference. But yeah, like I don't know. I agree. I hate the console war. I hate the fact that this competition drives these businesses to make decisions that are kind of dumb to the consumers and a little out there. Yeah, they're talking about like a PS5 Pro possibly hitting like 8Ks, but I don't think they're going to unveil that one for a while just because it's pointless. It's like the jump to 4K. 4K technology was around for years, but you couldn't afford a TV to do it most of the time.
Trying to get on.
But that's another thing, right? People are talking about in chat. Like Nintendo worked very tightly with. Well, Xbox says they take a more hands-on approach, and I think with Starfield that does show. But there do seem to be some games where they cut their losses, like with Redfield. Redfall was another F word.
Fuck you.
Redfuck.
Redfuck. Redfuck up.
Like. And hardware-wise, I think Sony has some advantages over Xbox. It's been talked about before. I think I've mentioned that, like, because Sony is actually in the fucking, like, audio tech business, you may recall the Sony Walkman. They're still doing shit like that, right? They're still in the audio production business. They have tool sets for sound quality on the PS5 that Xbox just does not have because they do not have those working relationships with some of these companies and do not have this back end on their own. And yet they still have a fuck ton of money to throw around, right? Like, Sony Interactive Entertainment is just one part of the Sony apparatus. The apparatus parts get to talk to each other, but they are not necessarily have the same budgets, right? So it's weird.
Oh, let me go get this game real quick.
Like I said, I don't know whether it's to investors or a personal pride thing or what. I honestly think Xbox already should give up the idea of exclusivity. Like, they already have an edge in backwards compatibility of games, and I think like overall the quality of like the sheer number of games that are on Game Pass is respectable. I've heard stories that developers are not necessarily happy about Game Pass deals. You end up with a lot of people just going, "Oh, that's neat," and they download your game, and you don't necessarily get any extra money out of that quote unquote sale, But like, I think it would make much more sense if they were actually concerned about just straight up return on investment if they did the exclusivity thing, right? Like straight up, I think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth says it will be exclusive on PS5 until at least May.
Oh, camera.
Of 2024, which is next year. So like, that's not a super long exclusivity window. I don't know if they're going to have the PC port ready in that short amount of time. That's only like the May. That's what, like 3 months, 4 months?
They're going to try.
From late February. I mean, that's when the exclusivity ends. I don't know if they'll have the port ready. Like I said, technically, I don't, it's been almost 6 months. The exclusivity on Final Fantasy 16 might be up soon, but Yoshi P wanted to approach their PC port like with the same care that they approach other releases, so they wanted to make sure it works much. But like, yeah, there's a lot going on. So like, that's just when the contract ends, and that's why the disclaimer says at least until that date. But I don't know if the release will be ready. But like, I think that like if they wanted to make more money and still leave themselves open to expand market share, it would be a lot smarter to be like, okay, Starfield, it's going to launch on Xbox and PC first. You can play it for no additional cost if you have Game Pass. And in like 6 to 12 months, we'll do a PS5 release. Because that would give you open marketing to just make more money on your IP. And I don't know, I have heard rumors that like Xbox is trying to put like Game Pass on PlayStation, but Sony is not currently willing to play ball, I assume because the general framing of that is that they don't necessarily get any...
Why do you shoot the gun inside, you son of a bitch? Oh.
Bang.
God damn, you fucking.
They're so loud. But like I said, like it's. I assume that Sony has no incentive to put Game Pass on PlayStation because they. I don't know how Sony makes money in that case, right? Like unless Xbox, pays them per download on the PlayStation Store through Game Pass. I don't actually know how like Sony gets any money on their own console other than you bought a PS5. And I don't know. This is actually a good question. Does anybody know? Was Sony making money on PS5s? Was that a net gain?
No, they were taking a
That was
loss.
'cause
I remember this. They were
okay.
taking a loss on that because they were
Yeah.
more interested in getting PS5s out there than actually turning a profit.
Yeah, I think the PS4 was the same way. They took a loss on those initial prices because they were interested in market share, and it worked for PS4. Again, considering how much of a hullabaloo that Xbox is making and all these acquisitions, I assume for the moment Sony's strategy is working.
Yeah.
So that also seems like it's going. But yeah, it's just console shit has always existed and it fucking sucks, and it gets in there.
Oh, they're both sold at a loss. I can believe that.
Yeah, I mean, I think technically the Xbox is still a little bit cheaper than a PS5. They're similar costs, but if they are about the same price point, I assume they would be about the same in a loss because TBH, the hardware differences are not really that different. Mostly it's just, I think, an optimization and design if games that are released for the same, like games released for the two separate consoles play differently, it's usually like very, very minor fluctuations. I think the PS5 overall is usually much better about load times by design, but both of them are like very high quality. But yeah, like I said, while I think that Starfield is a decent game that's doing well and has some bite to it, and obviously is also going to be part of a huge marketing scheme.
Oh shit!
If it is literally $200 on Xbox, that does seem like a lot. Because aren't those things like only $400? And you're straight up losing $200 each time. Shit, dude. I guess I would be getting out of the console making business if like I kept up that loss rate for another 5 or 6 years. I was not seeing like return on investment. But like I said, I just it seems weird to me that like I said that Xbox flashed all this cash to Bethesda and explicitly apparently for Starfield, and it's just kind of like it's all right. Like I said, I think Elder Scrolls 6 will be a much better ROI when it happens. Assuming, again, that game actually comes out before the crux point that Phil Spencer said where they're going to leave the gaming sphere otherwise. Because I don't fucking know. I think they, like I said, didn't they only start pre-pro on that this year?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Well, hi, guys.
Because they were slammed up with Starfield, which, like I said, I think they did take some extra quality control, and it seems to have shown there are still, like, bugs and jank, but it does in general seem like Starfield has less like you open a door, you fucking crash type shit, you know? Still got some jank. But yeah, that was one just side story I was thinking about I wanted to mention. The other big one I want to mention is just a random YouTube shout out of something I just happened to like run into randomly. So I found an interesting new YouTube channel.
Cool.
I could technically like at them or something in the YouTube interface, but I won't. Don't know how that works in a live stream, but it's. Let me spell it out for chat. Oh, Aaron's heisted.
Yeah, he's getting in here. Thank God.
It's Hurtbox TV. This is an electric guitar channel. So I caught a video recommendation of this showing that YouTube's algorithm does occasionally actually fucking work. Because there was a video he did, I think, last year around the time that Edgerunners came out, reacting to Ballad of Buck Ravers, which you should always know, big Ballad of Buck Ravers guy. He's all about.
Never fade away.
Sorry, yeah, never fade away. I was dry-throated for a second. And in general, I appreciate all of Samurai's discography, but like, Ballad of Buck Ravies has really grown on me. So like he does these videos where he'll like listen to the song and he'll like play it by ear and run some riffs on his own electric guitar. But he does a lot of this for video game music. Some of which people in our audience will appreciate. From 9 months ago, he has a reaction video to a Nikkei track.
Nice.
He has several videos about fighting games, both actually like knowing about fighting games and like combos and stuff, but also like reacting to music. And also very relevant to our audience, he has several videos related to Final Fantasy the 14.
I'm not surprised by that one.
No, but they are nice. Like he's got a video where he kind of like listens and tries to like figure out some of the tunes with like Brute Justice theme. Lucky, you'll appreciate this. There's a video he had that I saw in there for Wayward Daughter. Yeah! And a few more, and also some tracks that I can't listen to yet because I'm not at those fights. But yeah, so like I just randomly ran into this off a YouTube recommendation. I was like, okay, I appreciate this style, and it got a lot of stuff going on there with the video. So I was like, oh, I'll let people know about this neat thing I found.
Who touched it?
All right, well, we've been going for almost 3.5. Lucky, was there anything else you wanted to bring up on today's What's the Up?
Nay.
You've been playing it for about 3 hours. Anything else you want to bring up about Payday Tres?
I'll probably give some more thoughts on it after I've played with friends.
Yeah, you've got some actual playtime with friends. Fair enough. Well, in that case, we'll probably filter it out. I know Axe poked about tabletop stuff later, but we're kind of in the middle of some things. And I mean, you guys should check out the AP when it goes live tomorrow because there's very interesting things happen. There was an encounter that kind of took over the session for a little bit, and it was very interesting bit of back and forth. But keep your eyes peeled for that. Monday, we'll be back with Hollow Knight. Hopefully, timing-wise, we've got it worked out that will be the finale stream.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, you can probably still expect Fail Portrayal, though I will admit I'm probably going to be try and be a little zippy because that's going to be Phantom Liberty Day. So I'm going to be in a hurry to get the fuck out of there. I will still deliver you the content. And Wednesday, of course, more Final Fantasy 14 streams. Also, Thursday will be more Final Fantasy 14. I think I said this before, but I'll mention it on What's Up. I am no longer asking. I will stream Dark Knight, the initial class quests, just so I can finally scratch that one off my list and stop looking sadly at Dark Knight, because it's very hard to grind levels in Dark Knight when you only have half the buttons, because you need to do quests to get them. All right, okay. I think that's everything for me. So, outro. Hey, don't forget to give us a like, give us a comment, subscribe, join our Discord, support us on Patreon. I shouted that out earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Join our channel memberships, badges, and emotes. It's cool. Keep your eyes peeled for more Stram content.
Stram. So with that, we'll get out of here. Everyone have a good time. See you next time. Have a good evening.